Hello, everybody. How is your Saturday? All right. Is my mic working? Tim Shea says, "Hey, sorry, I'm a minute late. Checking out some news here. Let's check out Twitter, see what's going on." There was a crazy amount of tornadoes this last few days. Hey, Sean. Hey, Tim. How you doing, bud? Hopefully your Saturday is going well. It's good to see you. Thanks for hanging out. F Joe Crypto. What's happening, F Joe? Hopefully your Saturday is well. It's raining here in Idaho, so still uh, early. I guess it's early spring now. Technically, it's spring, even though it still feels like winter. But yeah, I'm glad. It's nice to not be in Tornado Alley, where I know. Hopefully, some of you guys aren't affected by these tornadoes that ripped through a few states this last week. Yo, it would be good if we don't get a twister. Yeah, do you live in an area where you get these or you get those things? Those things scare the heck out of me. I've lived in California. You get some earthquakes. I've lived in Florida, where obviously we went through a few hurricanes, and that's scary. But you can see that stuff coming from days away. You have days to prepare. But a tornado is really, it kind of freaked me out and the wife, because we've been talking lately about maybe in the next few years picking up and moving to the Midwest somewhere and starting our own little homestead, start growing our own food. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if you can see me as a farmer. That would be kind of funny. Hey, F Joe. Sup, Sean? Hey, Brian Dowie. Thanks for popping in here. I appreciate that. So we'll get this show started today. We're going to talk a little bit about. Let's see. We got MMAI up here. Cypherium. I'm going to do a little bit about Cypherium. What's going on over there is a little weird. They don't want to give it up. But we've had some of their Twitter guys basically canceling their channels now because I guess they're fed up with the nonsense. So there's that, right? Crazy things going on right now. Windy as heck and chilly, but tomorrow will be sunny and mid. Dang, man, where are you living? You must be either in California or on the East Coast. So I'm pretty sure. Actually, I think this week we're going to hit 60. This next week. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Looking forward to get spring started, get my garden going. Sup, Tim? Not usually, but we have watches and warnings in the area. Okay. Do you have a storm shelter or a basement? I'm assuming most people who live in those types of areas have some sort of shelter. I've never lived anywhere where we needed a storm shelter. Hey, Brian Dowie. STL. St. Louis. Okay. Yeah, I guess that is prone to. Yeah, I guess you're probably right in the middle of Tornado Alley there. I didn't realize when we started looking at different states to move to. I'm pretty much a West Coast guy. Pacific Northwest, California, Arizona, Texas. I've been around, and Florida on the East Coast for a few years. But I did not realize that pretty much east of Colorado, anywhere there can get twisters or tornadoes. So I didn't know that. Into Ohio, Illinois, all the way over, to the eastern side of Tennessee and Kentucky. Like, it's crazy. We get big snowfalls, and the last few years the wind has been picking up, but nothing too serious. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I mean, weather. It's tough to live anywhere where weather isn't a problem. At some point of the year, but living here in Idaho, we really don't have any weather related issues. I mean, I guess you could get a huge snowstorm, but that rarely happens. It doesn't snow all that often. I mean, it snows, but it doesn't snow like into the feet. You get a few inches here and there, but then it melts off pretty quick. So we're pretty fortunate here not to have anything crazy. I did storm damage roofing claims for 20 years due to tornadoes and hail. Wow, that was probably pretty good business. I imagine if you're in St. Louis. All right, so what's happening out there? We're we're going to talk about MMA. I think maybe a couple of the team members are going to jump in here at some point. And so let me get my Telegram up here. Let everybody know I am live. Oh, what happened? Hang on one second. All right. Okay. All right. Looks like everybody knows. All right. So are you guys into Cypherium? Anybody here? Did you guys purchase Cypherium? I know I did a couple of videos on it. Actually, I just did a third video on Cypherium. Basically all of the red flags versus reality. And it actually, the video is doing very well. People were interested in it. And the Cypherium group is very culty, the community, even though on Twitter, they're not really that big. But on the Telegram group, there's, let me see how many there are. There's a lot. It says, oh, somebody's typing, I can't. 9,400 members. And they're talking a big game. It's weird the way they kind of frame what Cypherium is. I mean, at first, there were a lot of people who said they had some sort of a partnership with FedNow, which isn't true. We know, the FedNow, they don't have partnerships with private companies, even though the Fed is, private. It's technically not, part of the government. But they did. They were saying that quite often until somebody, somebody like me, kept calling them out on it. Like, you're not a partner. Like, you don't have a partnership. And then, if you didn't see the video and you haven't heard the news, Cypherium was delisted from the FedNow service provider showcase website. Right? They were really there. I proved they were on there when I was on a live stream with Max on the CTN channel, and it was obvious. I mean, they were there. It was no big deal. They said they were on it. They were on it. So that part was accurate. But for them to get delisted for some reason, and if you go onto their Telegram group, Sky, who's the CEO, he's stating that he spoke with the Fed, and they said they didn't like what was going on in the social media channels, as if they're watching him or watching the group. I don't know. It didn't seem right what he was saying. It was very odd. And then not to worry, everybody. We're still partners with them. We still got a thing going on, but we're not. We're just not on the site anymore until things calm down. And that kind of was the gist of it. What's up, Michael?
Hey, what's going on, Sean? How you doing, brother?
No, I'm good, man. We got Crypto Lounge here in the house.
How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's having a fantastic Saturday.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. Weather issues going on this last week. Some pretty serious tornadoes ripping through some states. I saw some.
Yeah.
There was one massive one in Iowa. It looked pretty freaking scary.
Yeah, I saw that, man. Kind of unfold, and we're supposed to get clipped by that whole system, but that I guess the front stalled out, and it just wreaked havoc, man. What was it? Like 5 tornadoes down there in Mississippi, and it went all the way up through Ohio Valley, through Kentucky. I mean, it was crazy, man.
Yeah, I was just saying that I've been talking to the wife lately about possibly packing up and moving out west or to the Midwest, in the next few years, start our own little homestead kind of thing, and hopefully have grandkids one day, that come out to the farm. But I'm doing some research. I didn't have any idea that pretty much any state east of Colorado can get tornadoes. I wasn't aware of that. I thought it was very, kind of the Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, area, but apparently you can get tornadoes pretty much the entire eastern half of the country, which kind of surprised
It seems
me.
like when I was growing up, it was kind of a little more south of that area, but everything is shifting. I don't know what's going on with the globe or whatever you want to call it, but everything seems to be shifting towards that way, because we were like labeled as what would you call Tornado Alley, if you would.
Right.
That's what they call this area, and it kind of went all the way up through that little lane. Well, it's not so much of a tornado alley anymore around here. We haven't seen a big one around here since I think 79, I think 1979, which is probably one of the biggest recorded tornadoes in history.
Yeah, so it's moving. Yeah, and I did read that it seems to be everything's shifting east. So it's just it was odd for me to read. I was like, I had no idea, no clue. Daniel Gayton, how are you, sir?
What's up, guys? How are you?
I'm pretty
What's
good,
going
man.
on, brother? How you
Nothing,
doing,
man.
Daniel?
I'm feeling a little bit better, so I figured, I was hanging out yesterday with the Crypto Smith and Space Chick, and I figured, man, I'm feeling a little bit better, so I might, I want to start jumping on here, seeing what the fella's been up to since I've been on the mend.
Yeah, it took you were down for a couple of weeks, huh? Not feeling too great, trying to shake that.
Lungs are still a little rough, but
Yeah.
it's all good. So figured just see what the fella's been up to for a little while, and I got some stuff I got to take care of, but I want to hop in, say what's going on, and see what the heck we were talking about today, Sean.
Yeah, well, I was just going through some Cypherium stuff. It gets better, and I mean, it just gets better and better. So just a few, I don't know, maybe half hour ago, I was reading on Twitter one of the Cypherium Turkey. Somebody in the community who has his own Twitter handle. Basically, he closed down his Twitter page and announced it to the group and Telegram, and they're just. God, it's just so weird to watch. It's entertaining. I just go in and just read the comments and see what everybody's saying, and they're still saying, we're still with the Fed. We still got a partnership. You just wait and see.
You see a project self-destructing right in front of your face.
Yeah. So Sky was on there, and he's typing out his responses. He said he was instructed by the Fed to take off anything relating to the FedNow service off his website. So that's what he was. That's what he's saying. I mean, it didn't sound very good to me, but
I bet you he was. I bet you he was instructed to take everything off.
You know what, man?
Yeah.
I saw that video, Sean, and because see, I was about to invest in that thing last week, and I saw your video, man. It kind of shocked me. You think maybe they were, because they were on the site, unless I was seeing. So you know what I mean?
No, 100% they were on the site. I proved that on a live stream. And they do have patents, right? So they've been around for a while. It's not just they didn't just pop up, 6 months ago, and then they're trying to get people to invest. So I'm not sure what is going on. I'm not sure why they can't.
Something's going on behind the scenes that we don't know about.
Yeah.
Between them and the Feds, and it's not good. It's not positive.
Yeah, and I think it probably has to do with all the claims that they were making, and I'm sure the Federal Reserve or the the showcase for the service providers, whoever's running that probably got a letter or some emails or phone call saying, hey, this group that's on your site is out there claiming that they're going to be the next world reserve currency, and they're going to be hooking up all the CBDCs, and they're going to be moving all the money for the FedNow system, and it's clearly that's not the case.
The climate is pretty jacked up too. There's a lot of anti-crypto sentiment going around, especially in Congress. Maybe they got a call, because when I looked on that site, the partner site, all I saw was the big banks, the regional banks, some of the banks that we're commonly seeing on TV, just real world banks. That's what I saw. I saw very little cryptocurrency project type, stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I didn't look at the right page, but I saw a lot of real world brick and mortar on there. Not a lot of crypto projects. You know what I mean?
Well, they're gonna need them blockchains and them ISO 222s to run that system. So and there is a one or two blockchains on there that don't involve a token, right? I don't know. I think you just, when you get down into it, and I've been 50-50 on this, and I finally have come around to the point where I think it's actually a good thing for the ISOs, because I think they're going to play a role. I just don't think that they're ready to release which blockchains are doing what, but they're going to need a lot of interoperability with all that, and I think Quants is in a perfect position to make a big impact with FedNow, because they're going to have to link all these blockchains together.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And I did make mention of that it does make sense to have blockchain that has no token attached to it, right? So you can't, you're not going to get any speculators, running it up and down. So that's, and that makes total sense, right? Why would they want something that has a token that can create liability issues? Clearly they wouldn't. So
Oh
for
yeah,
a place like Cypherium, and then, which is why I also think that XRP is not necessarily going to be utilized for the FedNow system either. I don't think that's what it's designed for. I don't think that's, even though there are a lot of people for some reason in the XRP community seem to think that, they're going to be using
yeah.
XRP.
It's pretty cut and clear. Daniel, you're right, man. A lot of developers, there's not a lot of money into that. If anything, you're going to spend money on that particular project because if there's no taxes. You got to have a token to tax. You know what I'm saying? So if you can't have a token, that's going to be a venture to where you're going to spend money on that. You're not going to really get a return until after maybe 5 to 6 years after you're part of that network, FedNow network. But I don't know. Maybe if you have you guys ever thought about the government having their own internal, constructor project, their own blockchain that they haven't announced yet that
Well,
they may use? You know what I mean?
well, I put a video out last week, I think, where all the EU nations were coming together to try to create an EU blockchain. All the European nations. There was an article about this, and it's getting voted on in April. So this month sometime. Oh man, it's been a while since I did that video. I'm trying to think of who was leading the charge, but there's one country that's really leading the charge on that, and I think so. That's not out of the question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that would exclude a lot of projects, man, because all of the ones that we talk about, they have a token or a coin involved. So I think that would exclude a ton of them. But go ahead, Sean. My bad, brother.
Yeah, no. That's and I agree 100%. And we don't know, right, what's going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years with all this stuff. I know we're going to have a CBDC come out at some point in this country, and obviously other countries are already in the testing phase and research phase. China's probably will come out first. I know they're really working hard on it now, but for some reason I think once that happens, once we have a CBDC here or digital dollar or whatever they're going to call it, I think they're going to really try to shut like Bitcoin down. Right? I don't think they're going to want a competitor, to their new dollar. So I think it's going to be hard and heavy against crypto for the next couple of years, trying to get everybody out.
I totally agree. Did you guys see Satoshi? That Bitcoin? Well, I guess I don't know. Do we really know who actually created Bitcoin? I don't know if this is the right guy, but he's back. He's in a forum. He's tweeting now, and he's basically coming back, and he wants to be a part of the upgrade, the new Bitcoin upgrade. Satoshi, did you guys see that?
I heard about it. I didn't see the proof of it though.
Yeah, I got a
Yeah,
screenshot. I saw it. I got a couple of screenshots. He's back apparently.
huh. Yeah, I don't. I heard about it also. I haven't really read into it. People who pretend to be Satoshi or whatever. I know there's a few of them out there, but I don't. Is that the real deal? Like, has everybody determined that they think that this is the real Satoshi?
Well, that's the account that he originally used back in '08 and 2010. Apparently, this is what I got because I've done a research on it, man, because I thought it was bullshit excuse me, because I thought
That's
it
right.
was BS until I looked. I was like, that's the same account he used to kind of tweet. Not tweet. This was an old account. I think the first time I seen anything from that guy was it wasn't on Reddit. I can't remember the actual form, but they tracked it back to that original post, and he's basically saying he's kind of upset about what's happening. He's kind of upset about how slow the upgrades have not really been implemented with Bitcoin, and he's trying to expedite that. He wants to get Bitcoin upgraded. Essentially, he's coming back to upgrade it. So I think it's good. I just don't. The first thing I was like is do not go proof of stake because I'm hearing too much of that shit.
Yeah.
No, I don't see Bitcoin ever going proof of stake. I just I just there's a lot of liabilities that we're finding out it's going to come with proof of stake. But I don't know, like this Fed Now thing, Sean. Sean and Crypto Lounge. I'd like to get your guys' opinion on it. I think Quant's going to be the major. I think Quant's going to be the big player here. I think they're going to be the winner. I think they're the only ones that can make all of this come together under one system. Um, I mean, I don't. You look at retail, you look at the banks, you look at all the rest of the everybody who possibly could use the FedNow system, and they're all not going to use the same blockchain technology. So you got to have somebody bring it all together. I think that's going to be Quant. I think they're going to be the winner here. I think some of the losers here are Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, Venmo. I think you're going to see a big dip in their revenue.
Wow. Yeah. So it doesn't mention Quant anywhere in that system. I don't believe I never saw Quant in there, but yeah, you could be right.
They're not in there, but who else? Who else is going to bring all this together, Sean?
I don't know. There's just reading a lot of these different companies that are on that service provider website or showcase. There's a lot of blockchain-esque, let's say, companies in there that have a different tech than what we've been using, like Tacit. That's one of the ones that have the blockchain that they can do real-time, payments and settlement, without the token. So there's I think a lot of other companies out there that we don't really know about yet because we're still focused on crypto that I think can do things. So I'm going to go and probably read through a bunch of other companies and just to see who else is out there that might be doing something that Quant's doing, and maybe they're trying to find these other technologies with other companies that don't include crypto, that don't include the tokens.
Sean, and Daniel, this is my answer to you, brother. I just feel the sentiment, man. The way they're targeting crypto, the way they're coming at crypto. No bars held. Torpedoes away. I mean, we can see it. It's been weeks of an onslaught, right? Just think about it. Maybe they have their own Quant. And I just feel like they got something under the hood that they've not necessarily, let us know about. They got something going on, bro, because it's like Operation Clear the Runway is what I say all the time. They're trying to clear everything out, man, so they can deploy their own utility, their own, support mechanism for this Fed coin. And maybe they have their own Quant. Maybe they have their own, ISOs. We don't know. So I don't know. It's very interesting, man.
It is. And it's kind of frustrating because we don't know, and we're not going to know until it's too late. I always say, as soon as Ripple, whether they lose the case, win the case, whatever it is, if they lose the case, they're required to register as a security, the XRP, they'll probably move out of the country somewhere else. But if they don't and they stay here, they're going to go public, and that is the first thing I'm going to be buying is Ripple stock. So that way you get to enjoy the profits there at some point. Without the headache of the crypto at this point.
What about these existing infrastructures like MasterCard, Visa, those lower level municipality type payment systems that they use in lower level governments? What about just kind of like making those robust and connecting them, plugging them in? What do you think about that? They could do that.
Yeah, they could do that, and I can totally see these credit card companies. Because I know Ripple has a partnership with Bank of America, so I know there's something going on there. But Ripple said, a couple of years ago, they put out a post, and it said we don't need XRP. They don't have to use XRP, right? And just because, and I said this in the stream yesterday, just because Ripple's working with all these different CBDCs out there and all these other financial institutions, it doesn't mean that they're going to use XRP, right?
No, they don't need the token to use the blockchain.
Right. The ledger, yeah,
the ledger. So there's no guarantee that XRP is going to be utilized in every single business venture that Ripple gets into. They're two separate companies doing the same thing, trying to operate together. But Ripple doesn't have to use XRP for everything. And I think people get that twisted, right, Sean? They get it confused. Ripple will come out with a article about people that they're working with, and people will automatically tie that back to XRP. and you got to say to them, well, hold on a minute, you don't know. You don't know if that's going to be a standalone or if XRP is going to, if Ripple means insert XRP, right? You
Right.
don't know that.
Right. You would assume it. Let's just assume they are working with the Bank of England on their the digital pound. But they're going to recommend whatever they feel is best for that particular country, right? That their particular needs, and it may not be XRP. It might be XLM. It might be something else. That's what they're there for. They're not, obviously, if they can see an in and they can push that that XRP and it makes sense, then they'll probably push that direction. But everybody seems to think, and this is going around, and it's getting. You see it more and more now. Anytime anybody mentions DLT, right? Digital ledger, distributed ledger technology, they automatically assume that must be Ripple and XRP, right? But they're not the only ones out there, that are doing this thing. They're one of the more famous ones, but everybody wants to put that label on them instantly. Like, oh, there's XRP right there. There's another reason to buy it. I'm still bullish.
That causes a lot of infighting too. When it comes to Ripple, those two, the Ripple and the XRP holders, they fight a lot about what we're talking about what's uses this and what's going to be used for this and that. And Ripple, the CEO, I don't know if he actually said this, but they, it's been a lot of talk about them just leaving the whole country. And what happens to XRP when that actually occurs? He's kind of threw it down, but what do y'all think about that? Yeah.
So XRP exists, with or without the U.S., right? It's already, it is currently being used by some institutions, around the world. So once if Ripple were to decide to pick up their headquarters and move to Japan or Europe or wherever, XRP is going to be just fine. It's going to take a hit in the short term. Long term, it's going to be just fine. And the U.S., we may just be excluded from it. And that's kind of how I see that playing out.
Well, how does that work if Ripple leaves XRP behind? Because that's what's been insinuated.
I don't think but why would they leave it behind?
I don't know, but that's what I've been hearing. I've been seeing a lot of this, man. Like, what happens if that occurs? Because it could absolutely occur. But what the hell happens with XRP? This is the argument that I'm seeing a lot on Twitter.
Well, Ripple isn't the only one that uses XRP, right? There's a ton of different developers and companies that are building their blockchains, their projects on the XRP ledger, and they use XRP. So it's still going to exist, and it may not be as big, it may not be as sexy as it was before, but it'll still be around. I don't think it goes away.
Yeah, I don't think Ripple goes away. I mean, XRP goes away. If Ripple decides, I don't see Ripple leaving it behind. That's the first part of that argument. I just don't see it. I don't see Ripple leaving XRP behind. But let's say let's say for instance they do. XRP still has a lot of other, like Sean said, a lot of other companies that are using it. It'll still survive. Let's say Ripple loses a case in the United States, right? They just bought some beautiful headquarters over in Canada, right? Some beautiful property over there, and they didn't buy it for any reason, right? For just to invest in real estate, they bought it for a reason. And let's say that they lose, right? Well, my opinion is nothing changes because they really don't operate in the United States now. So, you'll see a pullback. You'll see a pullback in price just because of the sentiment, but it'll bounce right back up to where it was, to where it is now. I don't think anything changes.
Yeah, that is. I mean, it's always that your worst fear, that they would leave the country. Obviously, I would prefer them to stay and build here and use the XRP ledger and make things all nice and fast payments and all that stuff here. But if they're let's assume they totally lose the lawsuit and the judge says, "Yep, I see XRP as a security of Ripple." Right? How would that work? In essence, let's say they say, "Okay, we're just going to leave XRP and go with another token." Wouldn't they need to be connected somehow in order to be considered a security? Like, how could they just leave the XRP token behind and go and start up another token?
See,
That's
that's the argument right there. It's like abandonment. That's it. And see, the CEO kind of shot it down. He was like, it's a preposterous notion. Nothing like that is ever going to happen. It's pretty much what he said. But what you just said, Sean, that's what's being, thrown out
right.
there. The abandonment factor. Like, what if we're abandoned? Hey, if we lose this case, you know, we're done. This is what people are thinking. I don't think they're going to lose the case, but it's very interesting, man.
I don't think so. I think I think we're going to see elements of this case extend for the next, couple of years because it's some of it's probably going to go to trial. Some of it will get appealed, all the way up to the Supreme Court, maybe at some point. But that's years. The only thing we're concerned with now is if the judge can actually say XRP is not a security; it is a commodity, and that's all we need, right? That's all Ripple needs. That's all they need to hear, and then they're off.
Yeah.
They're off and running.
And that's what I've been saying for a while now, Sean. Like, really, to me, you boil down everything that Ripple's going through right now in this case, and really the only thing that matters in this judgment is whether or not there's security or commodity, right?
Right.
Everything else after that is irrelevant, right? Does it go to trial that Ripple had a pre-sale that was against regulations? Well, so what if they lose that, right? They pay a fine and life moves on, right?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
no harm, no foul, right? Did they sell illegally on a secondary market? That's where your exchanges come in, right? They have to win that piece in order to continue, in order for the exchanges to feel comfortable listing them again. I think that they win that piece, right? But really, it's all about whether there's security or commodity, and everything else can get fought out for years. And everything else is just a fine, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to talk about that security issue here in a second, but I want to get through some comments. Tim Shea says he swapped his Cypherium for XX just before the big dip. I don't know what XX is. Fill me in on that one, Tim, or unless you guys know what's XX.
I heard something about FX, but I haven't had a chance to look into the project.
Hey, Daryl, let's see. XRPH. I've got to look into that one too. That's not the first time. Miscusi Crypto Smith, I have something to say too. I respect you. I respect to you. Yes. Okay. Okay. Say it. I appreciate it. Brian, working on that now. Let's see. Hi, Maddie. Let me get through some of these here. Everybody's saying hi. Do we have any questions? Sorry, Tim, that when I say 10 Sarah, it doesn't mean not register in Italian. Oh. Let's see. Tim Shea. Oh, this is Fiverr. Hey, Fiverr, how you doing? Thanks for popping in here. Tim Shea was at the Crypto Lounge with the Crypto Smith and Daniel Gayton, just chit-chatting about tornadoes. That some Maddie B talks about them tornadoes. Stay safe down yonder all. Thanks for that, Fiverr. It's good to see you.
Thank you, Five.
What's going on, Fiverr?
Save 5. Thank you to Fiverr. Please don't hold against me a very bad microphone. Oh, yeah, no problem. Let's see. Any questions here before we get... I wanted to talk about the security issue. I think they'll be using XRP. Brian, you think that the FedNow system or these, some of these... And listen, we have to understand how the FedNow system works, right? And it's not that the Fed is just going to use one, payment rail. There is a vast number. There's 103 different service providers that you can choose, depending on what your needs are. So it's not like they're just going to use one system for everybody. And I think that's a common misconception.
They're not going to use one system, and they're not going to use one blockchain.
Yeah.
It's a menu of services that they have to all interconnect with each other.
And Brian, I'll tell you what, I wish they did. I hope they do use XRP, but I just, as I see it, as I read it, I just don't think that's I don't think that's reality. Almo, how are you? Did I miss Al in here? Oh, I did. Hey, Al, what's going down? We're going to talk about some MMAI here in a minute. Of course, all good things, MMAI. Pretty much one of the only bright spots of crypto right now. River, thanks for showing up. I appreciate you popping in and listening to the stream. Let's see. Doing great. How are you, big guy? That's Almo to you, Daniel. I haven't seen it, but don't believe it. Go Quant. Yep, everybody's on Quant. I was just, I even forgot that I have Quant now. I was messing with my ledger earlier, and I was like, oh, yeah, I still got Quant.
How could you forget that you have Quant?
I don't know, because I haven't really been talking about it or thinking about it lately. Let's see. Crypto Talk Now. Hi, Sean and Daniel. Smash that like. April Fool's DGen Day. Max. Thanks, Max. I appreciate you showing up. Yep. Smash that like button, everybody. Maybe share the stream. Get a few more people in here. Elon has to make big dent in crypto sooner than later. Yeah, I don't know what Elon's going to do. You know, he likes playing games. Hello, everyone else. Thanks, Max.
Elon needs to fix that monetary policy on Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. He could start there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Look into MIT, Digital Pound Foundation, and Quant. You will get the answers you need. Okay. Will do. Super cool background, Sean. Oh, thank you. This is part of the MMAI screenshot. You know, the kind of the city scene. River. Crypto for Starters. Hey, Alex. What's up, Sean? Hope you're doing well, Alex. Crypto for Starters. He says he's having lunch or having some dinner at his sister's house, so he can't make the stream. Tim. Okay, so let me hold up right there. So I'm going to ask you a question, and here's something I disagree with Austin. Right, Austin has said a few times. He's like, "Well, what's the big deal? Why don't they just register as a security and then move on?" Now, so as you see it, Daniel, what is the big deal with that?
Well, it's the oversight, regulation, responsibility, and it's also the when you register as a security, it's the amount of oversight. Really, that's the difference between being a security and a commodity. Really, it is the oversight responsibilities and what you can and cannot do, what you're allowed to do, what you have to disclose versus what you don't have to disclose. Being a security opens the door for a lot of that. Will being a security versus a commodity change the function of your product? No. Will it change how you operate as a business to carry out them functions on a day-to-day basis? Dramatically.
Right. And that's one, and that's the one aspect on Ripple's side where they don't want to do that. They don't want to have to jump through those hoops and have their hands tied and ask for permission basically to before they do anything. The other side of that is basically, I guess we would all have to be grandfathered in. Those who hold XRP and are not an accredited investor. So I wonder, how would that work? Now, new people coming in, they wouldn't be able to purchase XRP, right? You would have to be an accredited investor in order to go through that, just like buying, private equity. Or if Ripple went public, then you could buy it basically through your broker dealer, your Ameritrade account, or whatever broker you have. So it just makes it so much more difficult to purchase. And obviously the SEC doesn't care about that. But just for the average guy just wouldn't be able to own it. That's my biggest issue with it. So,
I agree with Daniel. I agree with you, Sean, but I think those points are kind of like smaller compared to, and this is just my opinion. I do agree that that's part of it, but I think the cost of compliance is really going to weigh heavy. I think it's going to cost on a redundant basis too, because it could be a quarterly registration, redundant theme. It could be maybe annually, but whenever it has to occur, I think it's going to be fairly costly because we don't know how much it's going to cost. The cost of compliance, we don't know. It could be extraordinarily high, man. You never know. So I think factoring that in, that's going to suck for a lot of projects. A lot of projects are going to go by the wayside because they're just not going to be able to pay, to comply. Pay to comply. That's what it really boils down to.
Right.
Yeah.
And
how much is it going to cost? You know what I mean? How much is it going to cost to be compliant? We don't even know. So, you know what I'm saying? I think that weighs too heavy on a lot of projects as well.
Yeah, me and Crypto Lounge have had this conversation a number of times, and when you work in a field, and Sean, you probably experience this as well, right? when you understand what it costs for compliance, you understand what the issues are. It's one thing to be compliant, right? You start up a business, or you start up a project, and you become compliant with the regulations that you have to operate under to start up that business or that cryptocurrency or whatever it is you're starting up. But there's an ongoing cost to compliance. And what is that cost ongoing to one, stay compliant and meet and operate within the regulations that you have to operate in? The cost of compliance is always higher than the initial startup to be compliant. And there's two different, you got to split them two separately. What is the cost and what is the ongoing cost of being compliant, right? And being a security, there's a lot of cost to being compliant, and there's a lot of transparency to being compliant, right? So think about, if you're a security, that every time the company wants to buy their stock back, like these big, huge buyback and burns that we talk about. Oh, we're going to buy back and burn, right? That has to be disclosed before it happens. And let's say that I have a cryptocurrency that I'm running, and I'm a security, and I want to sell my tokens. I have to disclose that before I sell them, to all of the holders. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on that could really rock the world and rock the crypto world. And a lot of these smaller projects are not going to be able to afford the cost to stay compliant. They're just not. If you're a token that runs off of taxes, I will guarantee you that you cannot cover the cost to stay compliant. I'll guarantee it.
Yeah, and don't forget, Daniel, that you got to add that KYC component into that as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
You know what I
because
mean?
when you're a security and you have to apply for an application to become a security, what's the first questions they ask you? Name, address, social security number.
Yeah, and obviously for anybody buying it, you have to go through whatever platform you end up going through. You have to be KYC'd anyway. Um, so yeah, and obviously that's and you're talking about, these are mostly legal fees, which are obviously the most expensive fees you're going to incur, and then whatever your team of lawyers, what they charge to put together this paperwork on an ongoing basis. Yeah, I do get that, and that would suck for them, which is why they said they'd probably just bounce out of the U.S. and go somewhere else that's much more crypto friendly. And so, and we're talking about this, and I want to say something. And I know Alex over the, what was it? Was it last weekend? No, it was just a couple of nights ago. So Alex for Para, right? The Para token, they came out and said that they were registering with the SEC. So they were starting down that road. They've been talking. The dev there, the main guy there, has been talking with, the whatever channels he's been talking to be compliant on that aspect, and so they're registering apparently with the SEC. And that's the news. So I guess we're going to find out, what the cost is and how that can work for a crypto project.
I would love to. This is really cool because we'll be able to actually kind of know what's going on. I like
Well,
that. My question is, I want to know the duration of the licensing. How long do I have to go before I have to recertify? Because then all those charges, they start over again. And if you think that the government is going to be cheap with this because they don't like crypto, this is a good way to get rid of a lot of projects. I think they're going to set these rates so high. These compliance, the tag for compliance is going to be set so high. It's going to be ridiculous. That's going to price a lot of projects out.
See,
yeah,
and I like Para doing it. Well, I shouldn't say I like Para doing it. We're gonna find out how well they fare in this situation. But I think that you're not gonna find out how well Para does by registering as a security for another year and a half, until they can tell you what it costs for them to stay compliant.
right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, of course. So, and I know that I read that there have been 5 other crypto projects that have registered with the SEC, and all 5 of them are dead and gone. So, and probably from a cost standpoint, they just
Yeah.
couldn't afford to keep doing it.
Yeah, that's the thing, Sean. That was my whole point. That cost of compliance, man.
Yeah, and I look at regulations from the state, different states every day, all day, right? Every day there's something new that comes out for my job from a regulatory standpoint. And every time a new regulation comes out or a change comes out, it costs the company to one, comply with that, and two, roll it out, right? So, just think about how much the legal framework changes with these security laws at a frequent basis. You have to have a lawyer look at that. Then you have to figure out how you're going to be compliant. And then you have to figure out how you're going to roll that down through your company. All that's cost. All that's manpower. It's all cost. It's all, and if you're just trying to live off the taxes of your crypto, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Shaman Says is here. I appreciate you showing up, Shaman. Hopefully you're doing well today on this fine Saturday. Brian Dowie says, even if Ripple loses the case, XRP will make great profits. Might take longer, but it'll be fine. Yeah, and I agree with that as well.
Agree.
Long term, they're going to be just fine.
Brian, I couldn't agree more with that statement, man. I think long term we're going to be fine. I damn sure hope so because it's my second biggest bag that I hold.
And it's my biggest bag, so I'm not too concerned about it long term. Japan and most of Asia loves that XRP. Yeah, if you could see the inflows in South Korea, right? It had massive, a buying day a couple of days ago where they were just buying up XRP like crazy. Cool, Chris. What's going on, Sean? Hey, cool. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate you being here and enjoy the support. We're going to start talking about some MMAI content here in a second, as soon as we get through this real serious SEC crap. Cool, Chris. Hello. Let's see. If Ripple stops using the XRPL, people can still. Yeah, it's decentralized, which is part of that argument. That people like to say, well, it's totally centralized. Ripple controls it. Ripple controls all the XRP and can freeze accounts and all this kind of nonsense. And that's just not the case at all. Ripple can't do anything. They've actually tried to implement certain changes on the XRPL and have been shot down by the validators every time. And they're saying, hey, we don't want to do it. They only have, I don't know what it is, 4 or 6 votes, out of hundreds. So they have no control over XRP. Brian Dowie.
Daniel, you mentioned. Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead. My bad, bro.
I'm just reading through some comments here. Downtown Toronto, Canada, 15-minute drive from my house. Annie Rock, thanks for being here. Appreciate you popping in.
Man, Annie Rock, I got to tell you, Annie Rock is a huge supporter of everybody, and he's always jumping into things, and he's starting to get up there with Tim. The amount of spaces he's in and live streams he's in. Much respect to Annie Rock, man.
Yeah, 100 on that. 100% on
that. Keltra, I appreciate you coming in. Hi, everyone. Let's see. Vane Momin. Hi, I want to offer promotion to your channel. Okay. Yep, I think we're fine with that. I appreciate you popping in here, though. Tim Shade, do some TikTok, Brian. What's up, Keltra? Let's TikTok. Tim, how will TikTok get me a job at Ripple? Yeah, I don't know. If TikTok gets banned here, that'd be crazy.
I thought about opening up a crypto TikTok, and I'm so bad with social media anymore. I'm like, man, I can't even manage another platform.
Bro, they're not very crypto friendly, though. I was gonna try, but I've been hearing so much negativity when it comes to TikTok and crypto. I never did it.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, like I've said before, my kid's got a massive account on TikTok. He's going to be super pissed if they ban it here because he's making money on it.
I probably haven't been on Facebook in months, and I have a Facebook page. Probably haven't been on there in months. I probably haven't checked my Snapchat in probably at least 2 or 3 months. Just Opening up TikTok probably just is not good for me, I guess.
Yeah. Brian says maybe get a job at Ripple Canada head office and have a few with Brad at lunchtime. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Get your foot in the door, man.
Give us
I mean-
that inside alpha.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say the same.
Hey, what was up with all that escrow dump the other day? I think what, $1 billion XRP? What was going on with that? I was going to ask you guys about that earlier.
Well, it was at their standard because they do it every month.
Mm-hmm.
Every month there's a billion, I believe, that's supposed to come out of escrow, and then it goes out to their ODL channels, and whatever isn't used comes back into escrow.
Yeah, that's common.
It's
That's
standard.
common.
Yeah, that was my first time actually paying attention to it. So I was like, wow, there's a lot of XRP.
Yep.
A lot of
Yeah,
money
they do that.
flowing out. A lot of money flowing out of XRP right now and going into XLM.
Yeah. When are we going to see some big news out of XLM, out of Stellar? They're quiet. They keep things quiet.
A lot of money flowing out of XRP right now and going into Stellar. Just as heads up. That's why the XRP price. The XRP price is going down a little bit. There's a lot of money going into Stellar right now.
I don't mind that at all because Stellar XLM is my second biggest bag.
I have some XLM. I've been watching the price, and I'm not mad either.
Yeah. Steve the Canadian. Hey, Steve, how you doing? Hopefully you're doing well up there in Canada. Oh, hey, Sean. Sup, Steve. Let's see. Tim, I'm still laughing thinking about it. Yep. Just ASMR fan just won the Mega Millions jackpot. Well, that would be awesome if you did.
I'm your friend, right?
Yeah. Hopefully you remember all of us little people.
That would be sweet.
Tell Awesome and ASMR. Don't forget us over here.
Don't forget us.
Don't forget us.
Exactly. Thanks for being
we
here.
do take donations.
Yeah.
Yep. Donations. Exactly.
You guys already have my wallet address.
Brian probably should have gone with something more believable. Yeah. That's that would be super cool to hear somebody that did that. Let's see. Okay, so let's talk about some MMAI. I know we chatted about it yesterday, and I want to know. Actually, I had a question, and this is going to be. I guess this would be for anybody who's viewed the beta wallet. So, because I've never seen it, because I have a Apple device. Does it look anything like this still, or is it completely different?
I would love to get a crack at it. I don't know how we can get a crack at it, but yeah, that'd be cool. I can't wait to actually get a hold of it and start using it.
I have the old beta.
So we know, obviously, there's been some movement, at least on the Apple front, right? And they've, there's been some acknowledgement there, I guess. And there's no beta testing. So for those of you who are waiting for the Apple beta to come out and test it, that's not a thing on the Apple side. We have to wait. They basically have to give them a working model, like they want it finished. So they're going to come out with I forget what Austin called it.
It's
version.
A soft launch.
Soft launch. There you go.
Yeah.
But did it look like this when you saw it last?
Yeah, it did. But I have the old one. So I don't have all the updates. I kind of quit testing it for a little while. I'm waiting for the soft launch as well. But my assumption is that beta 1 will come out and probably not have a lot of changes in it because I call production 2, or some people call it V2. I call it production 2 is when you're going to get that new interface. That Awesome keeps talking about, that comes out in production 2, not the soft launch.
So a new face basically is new
we're gonna
skin
get
on
new
it.
Skin. We're gonna get it, new button placements, all that stuff. So
excellent. All right. Let's see. So that's that, and that's coming. Who knows when? Right. We're still don't have a date on anything. The NFT marketplace. Austin did say yesterday that looks like a couple of weeks ish, right? Before that should be ready. I know we're all ready to reveal our properties and see what we got. start making plans on that. I don't know. Do you know anything else on that, Daniel? Crypto
No,
Lounge?
no. I just know what Austin said. A couple weeks, could be sooner, could be a couple weeks, but I know they're getting close.
Right.
We keep hearing that they're
Yeah.
getting close, and I know we can't wait, but I would rather have it be safe and right than quick.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we're not. I don't think we're going anywhere. It's if you're in it, if you're in this for the long term, like I'm sure all of us are, a few weeks that doesn't really make any difference. I know, I'm excited to see June. The June July time frame, right when blockchain's supposed to hit, and we might get a little taste of that, smart auto mining, or at least know how that's going to work and be integrated into the ecosystem and maybe into the metaverse while you're in there or you're playing the games and whatnot. That to me is going to be probably some of the biggest things to come out.
I have a feeling we're gonna have an MMAI summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you
It's gonna
go.
be nice.
There you
Now, the
go.
last thing we want is that marketplace to fall on its face. So I would rather, like you said, guys, take your time, do it right. Dot the I's, cross the T's. That way, when we fire it up, it's game on.
Because I think you have to think about that marketplace bigger than just the NFT reveal, right? You have to think about the in-game purchases that you're going to make off the video games as well, right? Where are them NFTs going to live? Where are they going to launch? Where are you going to buy them, right? So, you, I know everybody's so focused on that property reveal, and I know it means a lot, and I know why everybody's so focused on it. But when you think about that NFT marketplace and you put it in a perspective of what they need to accomplish, right? They need to accomplish a marketplace where people can rent your properties as well. And also, we know that there's going to be in-game purchases to NFTs and upgrades and things like that. They need to accomplish all of that in this marketplace, right? So it's not just a website where you're going to go in there, you're going to connect your NFT, it's going to reveal your property, and then it's going to be done hands off, no more use case. It's bigger than that. So it's
Yeah,
going
I'm
to
sure
take a little bit longer.
they could have had that out already if that was the case.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the reveal is just the beginning of this NFT marketplace. We're going to get to see, the functionality of it, and obviously it's going to carry forward through the metaverse and the games and all of that, like you said. So that's another big ticket item and utility for MMAI. And then you've got the news about opening up an office here in the States for MMAI, and so they don't have to continue to fly, I guess, back and forth to South Korea. I don't know how many. I don't remember if you said how many employees would be there, what kind of functions they'll be doing out of that office. I do know the area because I used to live fairly close to there some years ago. And that's really cool because now I know if I go back to visit, I've got a place to stop in and say hi if somebody's there, and shake hands with people and meet and greet, all that kind of stuff, and then perhaps a MMAI meeting at some point, maybe this summer, maybe late summer, we could get together and meet somewhere.
Crypto Lounge, you going down in May?
I'm gonna try to get to the one in Austin. I don't think I'm gonna go down. I probably won't be able to get to the one in Southern California, but most definitely that Austin. I think Augustine is speaking out there in Austin, Texas.
Yep.
I'm
Next
gonna
week.
try to get to that one. Yeah, because
Oh, yeah.
that's right down the road. That's probably more feasible for me.
Space Chick is talking about going there too because she's right there.
Yeah, I'm literally like 100, just under 200 miles away from where he's gonna be. So it won't be too much. That's
Well,
more feasible. I wish I could get down to Southern California, but 'cause that's gonna be real cool. But yeah, I'd be working. But I think there's a lot of people going there. I know Dr. Crypto's he's headed there.
I'm
I
trying
know
to
you
go to
going to.
Cali.
Yeah, there's a lot of people going there. I know Chaka's gonna.
Yeah, Shaka, he doesn't live too far from there, I believe.
Yeah, he said it's a drive for him.
Yeah.
Like an hour or so, maybe a couple hours. So it's a drive for him. But I'm so happy we're opening up them offices, Sean. From a blockchain perspective too, like, when you look at it, is that going to be the United States blockchain hub? I don't know. I guess we're going to figure that out. Our is Korea going to serve that part of for the layer 2 perspective, is Korea going to serve that part, and we're going to serve this part, so that your speeds are a little bit quicker as well. Boy, a lot of questions, but man, just to have them here in the United States, and Ennis Labs actually opening up with us. So Ennis Labs is actually going to have office space in there as well as MMAI. And then MMAI opening up in Korea, that's something that's overlooked, right? In that announcement that they're going to open up down there. So it's like a dual thing, right? So
Right. Yeah. So okay. So Ennis Labs, yeah, that's going to be a full building then. I'd imagine they're going to be packing a lot of people in there.
yeah, so you're gonna have everybody under one hood. Augie's got that building, he's got his company there, and then you throw Ennis Labs in there, and then you throw MMAI in there, and the amount of collaboration that can take place on a day-to-day basis, on an hour-to-hour basis, it could be phenomenal, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah. That is good news. And it's good to see everybody under one roof. Obviously, like you said, the communication, back and forth, you're not going to have those lag times, trying to get back to one another, if you're all sitting just a couple of doors away.
yeah.
Yeah,
Doc-
it's good for Austin too because he won't have to travel to South Korea if they have that base here, in our neck of the woods. I don't know if he still would have to, but I would think that he wouldn't have to travel. He would just go down to the headquarters in Southern California. I could be wrong though, but I think that would make it easier for him.
I think it's all a matter of what you're trying to accomplish, right? I mean, your development
Yeah,
team, your big huge development team's still going to be in Korea because that's where the labs are, right? That's where
That's where the school's at. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's where you're making your bread, right? Will that ever get that big in the United States? Well, let's see. Let's play it out, right? But right now, your bread's still being made down there in South Korea. So, any technology things, you may still have to make that trip, but just think about you know offices here in the United States. That should solidify for everybody the partnership that's taking place amongst all the pillars underneath this company. Um, and the the collaboration in Korea should solidify that as well. When one makes a move, they all make a move, and that lets you know that they're walking down the same road together. So
yeah.
it's,
No, there's
it's a great
structure.
it's a great
There's the
deal.
actual structure. Yeah, you can't call it a meme coin. I mean, I
Yeah.
never did. We all, I think me, you, and Sean, you, and Daniel, we've all said we've not. I don't think any of us ever really looked at it as a meme coin, but you cannot call it a meme coin. It's clearly out of that category.
I look at MMAI much like I look like my investments in the stock market, right? I never looked at it as a cryptocurrency investment. I looked at it as a legitimate business with multiple pillars to it. So when I never looked at it as a meme coin or even a crypto for that matter. It's always been a business for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
me
the
too, Daniel.
terminology we use, yeah, it's obviously most of the things that we put our money into in crypto, besides obviously the degen stuff, they are real businesses, and unfortunately there aren't. I don't know of how many I could even name that has a physical location that's transparent, where that you could drive up and park in front of their building and walk in and say hi. Uh, I don't know of another one, in this space. So you can't do that with Volt,
Yeah,
right? You can't.
I mean,
You
Can't do that with
I could.
Shib.
can't do that with Shiv.
I got
Yeah,
two. It's only two. It's only two. And Grove Coin and MMAI, man. That's the only ones that I could say that have like physical headquarters.
yeah,
Literally physical headquarters. There's only two. And this is a big space. It's a huge space. So just to say there's only two out of all of what we deal with, it says a lot, man, about MMAI. To stand alone, well, not alone, but it's not a lot of competition there, you know.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
And
Dr.
I'm not
Rob,
I'm not gonna say how many there is because there could be more, right? But what I do know is that there's less then there's more, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
Absolutely.
the fact that we're in that less category should tell everybody everything that they need to know. And that's the one thing that MMAI is great at. They don't have to tell you everything, but if you watch how they move, it tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah. The doctor is in the house here. Dr. Rob, evening MMAI family. Evening to you, sir. Space Chick Crypto. Hey, guys and gals, tuning in on my way to work. Hope everyone is having a great, safe night. Thanks, Space Chick, for that. I appreciate that. And I do appreciate you allowing me to pop in on your live stream yesterday. That's always fun. Tim Shea, Brian, let me know when you put out your TikTok. Okay.
Yeah, let me know too. I might sign up for TikTok just to watch that, Brian.
Yeah. Let's see some. I would love to see it. You should do it for sure. Let's see. GS. Yoshan, Daniel, Crypto Lounge, and everyone. GS, hopefully you're having a great night there. Thanks for the support. And I know I'm way behind on comments, just like always. Annie Rock, I want to learn as much as possible about crypto, I'm assuming. Yeah, there's a lot to learn. I mean, I still have days where I'm like, I don't even know what I don't know yet. And everything starts to run together. So I'm getting to the point where and it's probably my age, where I have to take a day off. I can't do a video every single day. I'm just like, it becomes too tiresome. It wears me out mentally. I'm like, all right, I don't even want to think about it. I just go turn on some, mindless YouTube videos or watch TV or something and kind of get out of the crypto for at least a day or so, just to recharge. Otherwise I lose motivation.
I say this to everybody, Sean, and I take my own advice often, right? Surround yourself with good people and surround yourself with people that understand what's going on and are also open-minded, because we're all learning about crypto every day. Every day there's something new. Every day there's something different. Every day there's new technology. So Annie Rock, even the most experienced cryptocurrency investor, and there's really not a real true, when you think about how long cryptocurrency's been around, is there really truly an OG to cryptocurrency investment? We're all new, right? So we're all learning every day, and surround yourself with good people. Always stay locked in, but don't always stare at charts and everything else. Learn what's behind the technology and not what's on the chart all the time, and you'll understand a lot better what's going on.
Brian Dowie says, Daniel, why do you say money is leaving XRP and going into XLM? I have both, but just curious.
Because if you follow the wallets, that's where it's going.
We had a nice run up, so there are people are taking profits as well. So, and that's that's what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, but if you look at the money that's coming into XLM and you trace it back, it's actually coming out of XRP.
Yeah, so you think somebody out there knows something that we don't know, something I don't know?
Yeah,
or just getting ready, just loading the bags.
I think they could be splitting their bags. They could just be hedging their bets. XLM's been on a nice run. It could be that they're just moving money over there to take a little bit more profit. Taking their XRP profit, moving it over there, trying to make a little bit more profit. Could be a lot of things, but that's where it's going.
Let's see, where are we at with Stellar? XLM right now is just above 10 cents. Almost 18% on the week, which is not too bad. XRP, I'd love for XRP to stay above 50 cents. If it can bounce off 50, that would be good.
Yeah, we've talked about this for a long time. 50 cent was that whole resistance line, right? Every time you got to 50, you got smacked right back down, right?
Yeah.
But if now you can make that resistance support, XRP's in a beautiful position.
Yeah, my account loves it. Let's see. Brian, XLM goes below 10 cents, time to swoop. Yep, we might. I might have to pick up some more XLM here. Maybe refill that bag.
my average cost on XLM is low, so it's hard. If I scoop anymore, I have to open up a new position because I can't add to the position where my average cost is low.
You like to see that. You like to have that number flashing at you, huh? That average cost.
I have to know what my average cost is because that tells me when to sell.
Right. Makes sense. Total
So
sense.
So I have to open up a new position if I buy any more XLM at these levels.
Francis Davis, welcome to the stream. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate that.
Have you ever heard Francis on any of the spaces?
No, I don't think
Great
so.
dude. Great dude.
Yeah.
Great dude.
Does he have a YouTube? Does he have a channel? Or is he on Twitter? You're talking on Twitter?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Great dude.
Hey, so what do we think about Solana? I don't hear you guys talking about Solana anymore. What's going on? No Solana love. What's going on now?
No, you ain't getting no Solana love from me.
Yeah, every time I start to talk about it, the network goes down.
Hey, I will give you a little sneak peek on something that's probably really good for it. And Sean, we talked about the Helium network before.
Yeah.
On a couple of your other shows. And Daniel, I don't know if you probably know about the Helium network as well. They're moving their entire operation onto that blockchain. That migration starts in, I think, a couple of days. And that's going to spike Solana quite well. I mean, because you already know, Sean, that's a big platform. Decentralized Wi-Fi is going to be huge in the very near future. And they're going to move that whole thing over to Solana. And there's going to be a whole NFT. They're going to be using non-fungible tokens for the rewards. Solana's about to get a huge infusion of activity. So you may ought to keep your eyes on that one.
I'll keep my eye out for it. I'm not a big fan of Solana, but obviously they need something.
I was invested in Solana.
Yeah, I did earlier. Probably 2 years ago. I had Solana and Cardano, and have gotten out of both of those.
And I'm not invested in Solana anymore. I got out of it.
Did you dump that bag, man?
I dumped the hell out of that bag. Now, I can't help it. I dumped that bag, man.
So Brian,
it got a little squeamish though. Go ahead, my bad, brother.
Oh, that's right. Brian Dow was asking when the reveal is, and I know we covered that. It's Austin said it was a couple of weeks, ish, out. So we could see something in the next few weeks. Let's see. I think the interface is going to change end of Q2. So I'm not sure. Not too sure. Okay. ASMR. Tyrant Sean says Stable Fund made an April Fool's joke today. That is funny. I did mention that, or I didn't mention that, but I did see that earlier on Telegram. Stable Fund did say there's some sort of movement with getting the refunds and all that. And that's, I don't know if this is just, I want to believe, I'm going to get my, $4,000 back, but I don't think that's the case.
I think
that is crazy, man. That's crazy how that crashed and burned. I was almost about to get into it. You had me sold. And then when I went and did that research, no, seriously though, when I went and did that research, I was like, this is good, man. I mean, if they could keep this going, this can be very lucrative. And then it just freaking caved. I'm like, good God.
Yeah, it does. They all do the same, right? It's just, I was doing it more for entertainment. I put in very little and it grew, over time. And it was ride or die for me, because that was part of my, community I had building on my channel. So I know a lot of people had some money in there, maybe not as much as I did, but I didn't. It wasn't a huge deal for me because I didn't put all that money in it. It just grew to that. It would have been nice to take that out at the last second, but I did not do that. Degens. What's
Sean,
funny is I had a feeling.
Sean, you didn't take profits?
No, that was the entire point of that. The event that I was going through was I was just going to let it build, and for a certain period of time, and then take profits. And then it obviously didn't work out. And I knew, and I warned everybody. I'm like, look, we could easily wake up tomorrow and this thing's gone. Right? That's just how these degen things work. right? You don't always get your money back. So that was for me, and that was for content. So like I said, I don't feel too bad about that.
Listen, guys, always take your profits, man.
Yes, take your pride, and I did preach that as well. I let everybody know, don't do what I'm doing. You know, if you got money in there, you take your profits and play on house money.
Bro, it's so easy to say that because you get that casino syndrome going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You look at it, it's like, yeah, I could go for another day. Let's let it go for another couple of days. We're gonna take out more, and then it's zapped. You know, you got the whammy effect. You know, it's hard, bro. You can say it all day, man. It's so hard. That's why I don't go to the casino, because every time I sit in front of a slot machine and I'm hitting and it's hot and everything's going, I never freaking take out when I need to. I always try to hit the button one more time just to see if I can get a little bit more out of that machine. That's what we do in crypto most of the time. You know, we know we need to take our money, but we just want it. We got that casino effect, man.
See, I'm such of a boring trader. Like, I can't do that. Like, we were just talking about, like, I'd have to open up a new position in XLM because it's like every bag I have has a price to it. And when it gets to that price, it goes. And when it gets to that, you know, it has a sell price and it has a get the hell out price, right? So, you know, there's a top to it and a bottom to each one of my bags. And I'm so boring because it's like, well, it hit that number, I'm selling. Or it dropped down to this point, so I'm selling. You know, I'm not willing to lose any more money. And all that stuff's so worked out that, like, it's just like robotic, right?
Yeah, and I all mine's in one bag. It doesn't matter to me. You know, I have a price where I'm going to sell some. You know, like XRP. You know, if it hits $5, you know, I have an amount that I'm going to sell. Hit $10, you know, I'm going to sell a little more, and kind of so on and so on. But I don't track every purchase and you know, and use that bag to get out at a certain time. It's to me, because I'm a long-term holder, I don't trade. So it's basically it's going to go all or nothing for XRP, and XLM is probably the same thing. Quant, I mean, obviously these are the big boys, so we're not expecting they're going to zero. But yeah, obviously if you're into some other, you know, meme token or degen play, you have to think about it differently.
Yeah.
Hey, I gotta ask y'all about this one because y'all brought it up, so I gotta get y'all take on this because they closed their off ramp to the U.S. last month, and I knew this was gonna happen. Bittrex, what do you think about that?
Yeah, they're letting you. Well, I think the end of April, right? They're shutting it off to the U.S.
Yeah, no, the whole platform's shutting down.
Yeah.
What I read today,
really?
yeah.
Okay.
The whole it started with that off ramp thing. Yeah, the whole platform. Well, see, it was in stages. I got an email because I used to use it as an off ramp and an on ramp. I've been using it for a long time, way before I started using Coinbase. It was so easy, you know. I got the email and I'm like, okay, you know, they're pulling out. I get it, you know, all this stuff going on with Binance, whatever. They're getting kind of scared or whatever. Then I get this other email, we're shutting down. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
No, Bittrex is gone. It's no longer, you know, that thing is gone, you know. But it doesn't really surprise you though, like when you think about it, does it? I mean, you're gonna see this more and more with these smaller exchanges. They're gonna just start folding up like paper. I mean, you gotta have money to play in this exchange crypto game. You gotta have money to fight the SEC. You gotta have money to do these things. And you know, these smaller exchanges, a lot of them just aren't gonna make it.
Awesome, Austin. Welcome to the Forge, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm not too bad. Not too bad. Just enjoying a little live stream on Saturday.
Yeah, sorry to come on a little late there. We were just out shopping, and then Van hopped on, and I was like, oh, I'll hop on when we get home. So yeah. What's up, Daniel? What's up, Crypto Lounge?
What up?
What's going on, brother? How you doing, brother?
Living the dream, man. Living the dream, dude.
What's up? I sent you a message, Awesome. I was pumping up FAU, man, and they lost at the last second shot at the buzzer, man.
I know, dude. That was such a cold-blooded, cutthroat shot to win the game. Oh my God.
I was sitting over here like half heartbroken, man. Like, man, because when the game was going on, I sent you a message. I said, FAU, brother. FAU.
I know they were looking good, up by 14 too at some point. Yeah. So yeah, what's up, Almo? How you doing, bro?
So who won? I don't pay attention.
San Diego State hit a game winner last second to win the game. You can't beat March Madness. March Madness is like it's no one can in any sport can compete to like what March Madness is. It's the Cinderella stories of all I mean, like it allows teams that are just garbage to come out of nowhere and pull out a crazy run and win a championship. Like FAU, like who would have thought FAU would even be considered in the Final Four? And it's just amazing, dude. Like I love it, man.
And didn't some of the top teams go out early? Like
They're
wasn't there a lot of upsets?
They're all out, dude. I mean,
Yep.
the lowest seed now is like, is it 5, 6, 5?
I think it's 6.
Yeah, that's
I'd have to
crazy,
Yeah.
dude.
I think it's
Yeah, because I was pissed off when Alabama was kicked. I was like, oh, I'm done. I'm all done.
Yeah, I got guys at work that watch that. I haven't really paid attention to it.
It's the best tournament that ever. Like nobody can compete with the tournament because you always have Cinderella stories and you always have these colleges that you're looking at and you're like, man, like they played in one of the crappiest conferences in the country and then all of a sudden they're coming out here beating all these big boys. And it's like it's built for a Cinderella story. The whole tournament's just built for a Cinderella.
No other sport out there could come close to like what March Madness is. Like just not even if they try, they can't.
Really?
Dude, you guys remember the Wichita State Cinderella? Do you remember that?
No,
That was back. That was some years back, but to me, that was the most. I had so much fun watching that. That was the best one, the Wichita State one.
Yeah, but
I
back when
remember
like
this.
there was a lot, dude. Like you just go down every year. I mean, Michigan State's a couple times with the Cinderella sides. I mean, you got a lot. Butler was huge, dude. I mean, like, oh, dude.
Don't
Oh
forget.
yeah, I forgot about the Butler. Yeah.
Don't forget about George Mason.
George Mason was a huge one
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Yeah. That was the same year. That was the same year that Michigan State was coming out of nowhere too. You know what I mean?
I mean,
We went from crypto to basketball real quick.
But like teams like FAU, right? You gotta respect them, man, because nobody expects it. They got nothing to lose, and they just come out here and play. Like I respect the kids,
Yeah.
So I have a guy at work. It's kind of a funny story. So they fill out brackets at work, right, and see who makes it the farthest. They bet on it. He doesn't know anything about basketball, nothing, like less than I do, and I know very little. So he fills his out last year. Basically, he's a big guy. Let's say he likes to eat. He chooses teams based on the food in their city, and so then literally that's all he does. And so he filled out his brand. He killed everybody last year.
I usually every year, honestly, I play in a league that I've been playing in for close to probably 23 years now, or sorry, 13 years now. Sorry, 23. It's about 13 years now, right out of college. And, the payout's like almost 10 grand now, like for winter, because there's so many people that play it. And 2 years ago, I took first place. Last year, I took second. And every year, I usually finish in like the top 10, like no joke. And this is the first year where I literally, because I was just in Korea and I didn't even like pay attention to anything. And I'm like, I finished like top 100 because of just everything. But I was like, dang, dude, this is the first year out of like 13 years where I just done horrible. But that one year, man, when I took first, dude, and took home like 8K, it was like the coolest thing in the world, dude.
Oh yeah, that's some good money right there.
Dude, yeah, just to get an $8,000 check, fantastic.
Seiko Hunt,
money back in MMAI, baby.
Seiko Hunt's here. Thanks for showing up, Seiko Hunt. I appreciate that.
Heck yeah.
So what MMAI? Well, I know you probably don't have anything new since yesterday, but we were just talking about the NFT marketplace, and Daniel was good to point out that this isn't clearly it's not a just a platform to reveal which properties we got, right? Obviously, it's much more, we'll use your term, robust than that, and it's going to be used throughout the ecosystem. For in-game content, NFTs that you can use, things like that. So, and then maybe trying to clarify a little bit, that NFT marketplace will be the spot where you will, let's say, rent out a property, and work on those kind of things. How would that work? Like from a contract standpoint?
Yeah, I think, like I said before, when I envision what this is, and even talking to the team, like I honestly, because like let's not recreate something that's already great out there. Go find a platform that does really good job with this, and just reinvent that to form, to form around what you're doing. And I always fall back to Airbnb. Like if you've ever rented an Airbnb or someone's property, Dude, it's one of the most it's like the easiest, best platform to ever rent someone's piece of property. I mean, like honestly, like just if you've never done it before, I highly advise that you just go out there and mess around with it. Like you don't have to actually like go through with it, but it's super easy, dude. And it's probably one of the best things that has come to real estate. I mean, people that never thought that they would actually rent out a piece of property are now renting out pieces of property left and right. I envision that, dude. I envision someone putting it on there and just like a Craigslist listing, dude. Like you put it out there for the listing. If someone takes it, so be it. If someone doesn't, then you relist it and you keep going for it until someone does it, right? And sometimes you might have to play some scenarios where why is Sean putting his for $100 a month and I'm at 500? Man, what an asshole. Okay, I guess I got to go to 99. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure that's probably going to happen, but I mean, like that's what I envision, dude. Like I really envision the competition inside renting out spaces and things like that. And there's a partnership that again, I don't want to keep putting it out there, but I mean, there is something in the works. We've already talked about schooling and like having that in the metaverse, but there's also, it's not just like the University of Philippines that we're working with, but there's other ways that we're going to be getting education in here and making it to where people are attending these. And, we're going to drive. It's not just like, here's a platform. Hope you guys show up. I mean, like we hope some people show up, but I mean, we also want to create, here's a platform and there's companies out there and people out there that are required to go through this system to bring people to the metaverse, dude. Like that's simply what we're trying to do here. And I think that that's the right way to go versus like, you look at Decentraland. I mean, Decentraland has no way of driving interaction within their metaverse period. Unless they do some crazy event or something like that maybe get some people there, but on a daily basis, people just aren't going there. That's no shot at Decentraland. It's just the truth.
That's the reality of it right now. Yeah, absolutely.
You got to get people. You got to drive people there, right? You got to give people a reason to show up there. And if it's, hey, you got to go through the metaverse to get to your schooling, you got to go through the metaverse to get to your school. And if you got to go through the metaverse to get to here, you got to go through the metaverse to get there, right? And whatever that is, and however that comes together, that is a goal. You know what I mean? So how it works out, I don't know the full scope of how it's going to work out until we actually lay it out there and get these people committed and really in the metaverse and doing this stuff. And then we'll really start to see how this plays out, but I've said it before that, the metaverse, like we're looking at the metaverse to be more than just, a social interaction place too. Right. The more partnerships that we've talked to and the more people that we've like sort of engaged with and going through this process, we started to realize like the metaverse, even from our initial vision of what the metaverse could be, has even expanded in the last 6 months, dude. Our own vision of what we thought the metaverse would be, we have learned and grown significantly too on what this could be as well. And I honestly think, and I've said this before, when it comes to manufacturing, when it comes to smart cars, when it comes to, just think about it, dude, taxi services, FedEx, anything, dude, to be able to run off of like, to be able to map out something and be able to actually put it, I don't know how to say, I don't want to say too much, but again, being able to have a metaverse and being able to do that kind of stuff is going to be imperative to the future of like smart cars and things like that, deliveries and things, whether it's through Uber, through food, whatever it might be. Like, I think the metaverse is going to be the answer to a lot of that kind of stuff. And I think we're ahead of the game, dude. Like now that I've really started to piece it together, like I'm thinking so far beyond just the social interaction on Web3 and in metaverse. I'm thinking like, how like industry could use metaverse and really grow something. It's wild, bro.
That's cool. Do you know, I know they were talking about it last night about how far ahead really MMAI is. If somebody else wants to try to copy, what's going on once they see, once it's popular and, people start, checking it out and the word gets out there, somebody else is going to want to say, hey, you know what, I can do that too. We're going to kind of copy what they're doing. But MMAI is so far ahead. I mean, years and years ahead of anybody else, I think, in this space.
I said this, dude, like NS Labs is literally they build technology, dude. Like that's all they do, build technology and patent technology. I mean, it's like going to someone who all they do is just patent, all they do is just patent, gimmicks or patent certain things. Like you get to these infomercials and they're like, oh, look at this screwdriver that can do X, Y, and Z. And they go on KBC and there's companies that all they do is just sit there and think about the next little, like, trinket that they could actually sell on, because and they'll patent it and they'll go to Shark Tank and they'll do these things. Right. like I think about like NS Labs, that's all NS Labs is doing with you know, when it comes to blockchain, when it comes to Web3, when it comes to hardware, when it comes whatever you want to think about, like that's where I think like NS Labs is. And like how you said, like I see us being, we're going to be a provider for, you know, basically when it comes to the, you know, the crypto industry. I feel like we're going to be a massive service provider for that. You know, companies, because you got to think like BMW. Let's just say that BMW is like, dude, we're going to move to a blockchain. I mean, do you really think that BMW is going to be like, oh, we're going to go build our own blockchain? Like, no, they build cars. They don't build blockchains. So they're going to seek out people that have done this, right? Samsung is not going to go create their own blockchain. They're going to seek out people that can do it, because why would you waste the troubles of something that could take 2 years when you could go to someone who can already create something and put something together with you in 2 months and have it running, and you could still go focus on what you need to go focus on while other people are running your block. I mean, that's the whole reason you partner with people. And so like when you start to really think about that and just the scope of that alone, and like LGU and the partnerships that we already have, I honestly don't think that people are going to be able to compete with us. So they could try, they'll come out and they'll say like, oh, look what we got. And that's what this space is about, is, oh, look at that, we got a shiny object over here, but nothing in that shiny object ever comes to fruition.
And when you
Right.
think about businesses too, like you have to think about like a business philosophy is very much different than a cryptocurrency investor, you know, cryptocurrency project philosophy. It's really when you deal with business minded individuals inside of a business, it's not about what we can create at the moment. You know, a lot of it is here's our task, here's what we have to get done. What's the best, most efficient way to get this done? And if that means that we have to go out to somebody like NS Labs and have it build a blockchain, then let's do it, because they're the professionals. They're going to get it done. They're going to get it done in the most efficient and effective way. It's not about the last thing a company wants to do, like a BMW, let's say, is build a blockchain. They want
Right.
to sub that out
Well, look at
to the
SHIB.
professionals that know how to do it and get it there quick, and have it be good, quick, and ready to go, so that they can move on with their task, right? So yeah, like these companies that are going to use blockchain technology are damn sure not going to be building their own blockchains.
Well, I mean, that's why, I mean, just go look at Shibarium, right? I mean, you know, they knew like, hey, we're not going to like bring people in house to build this, when we could just go find someone who could build it for us and then manage it and make it, you know, we could still focus on, you know, our marketing, because that's really what Shib's really good at, right? Marketing and, you know, getting these things out there and getting people to come to the platform, and you know, let that happen, and then let the unification in them, you know, sort of grow this and do everything that they need to do. And that's exactly what they did. And I think that's a good thing. I know people like, remember, people were criticizing MMAI, right? People jumped on our ass for like, why would you go partner with NS Labs? Like, that's the dumbest thing in the world, you know? And remember early on, people were really jumping down our throats about us, like, oh, though that's NS Labs product, not MMAI. And it's like, so what, dude? Like we're going to be able to use that, and it puts us 10 steps ahead of anyone else. Like, why is that such a bad thing? And I never really quite understood where they were coming from when they did that. So it kind of blows my mind that we're even in. I mean, they don't go criticize, you know, or no, go jump down Amazon's throat for going and using Avalanche for their blockchain. Where are you guys at now? Go tell them that they're shitty stock now because they decided to, you know, use Avalanche for their blockchain. Like, what? I mean,
Instead of make their own.
No,
Right?
that,
yeah.
you,
Why would you do
you know,
that?
that's standard. That's like standard outside of crypto, though. You know, a lot of people in crypto, they don't understand that outsourcing, you know, that type of contracting, that's like standard in business, in the technology world, you know. But I see MMA. I always say this, man. It's a trend-setting moment, because they're paving the way for a lot of other technology companies that are actually kind of peeking in, kind of wondering if they can survive in crypto, if they can build on the blockchain with lower overhead, things of that nature. And I think MMAI is showing them you can do it. You can be very, very successful as well. So it's a trend-setting moment. I really do believe so, man, and it's going very well.
And I think that MMAI is setting a standard for a lot of other people too, because like, let's say you got shit but that comes out and says that they're going to build a blockchain, right? The first question that everybody should be asking that token is, well, where's your development team and who's going to build it, right? Instead of that sounds very different coming from that token that says, hey, look, we just partnered with X company, right, to build our blockchain, and you go do research on that company and their specialty is building blockchains, you can sell that to me a whole hell of a lot better than you can sell to me, we're going to build this in-house, and you don't have the engineers in-house to build this out. Like that, people have to start asking these questions. And I think MMAI setting the standard for people to ask them questions is to say, okay, so who's on your team, right? Or
Right.
who are you partnered with? Or what are you doing? Or how long is this going to take? Or why, if you're partnered with this company, why is it taking you 5 years to build a layer 2 blockchain? You know, and these are the questions that are being asked, and they should be asked, because a lot of people have been taken advantage of. And when you get to MMAI, you understand that they've been taken advantage of, because you see that the technology is out there. And not only is it out there, it's out there for partnership.
See
Yeah,
that
good-
what you
good
said,
point.
Daniel, is very truthful, man. Because I see it a lot, like in gaming. To build a game from the ground up, I'm talking square one. I'm not talking something that's already pre-built. From square one, it doesn't happen in 6 months. You know what I mean? It takes time to code and build that game up. And I'm talking about a good game, AAA type, Call of Duty type. It takes years to do that. Then you look at Pixar. How long does it take? Remember the Avatar movie? How long did that take? I mean, great things take time. And I think a lot of developers, they're not honest with the investors. They want that money. They want you to buy that token, but they're not honest about the duration of development. And then when it takes forever, they lose investors. I like what we got from MMAI. We got a lot of honesty, man. And Augustine has been straight up. He's been straight up with us from day one. You don't get that with a lot of projects. It is what it is.
Yeah. I
I
want
just-
to
I
say
just
hi
want-
to a couple people here.
Yeah, go ahead.
XXI Gaming. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you showing up. And Crypto Benny. What's up, all? Hope everyone is having a great weekend so far. And I don't want to get too far behind here. Almo says he picked up a junk load of Solana at $10.
That's not a bad price.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
own
I
any
mean,
Solana, and I won't buy any, but $10 ain't a bad price.
Yep. You're obviously you're doing well with it right now. Double up.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm not sure what that is because I had to skip a bunch. Tyrant Sean, yeah, I wish I took my profits. I straight compounded, wanted to buy a house and make my people proud. Yeah, I did it for content. That's why I didn't pull my money out. But I understand. Yeah, you got to take your profits, man. You got to take your profits for sure. Let's see. Cool and Chris says I'm behind, but another DeFi project that has a physical headquarters in the U.S. is Sky Token, Skypath. Okay, and I've heard you talk about that too. Although I don't know a whole lot about it. So what were you going to say, Austin?
No, I just sent you a link in the private chat to pull up. And like, again, I mean, the best part about this is like, this is all public for people. If they take the time out of their day to actually look at what NS Labs is and what we're trying to do here at MMAI with MMAI, and you pull up just Dr. Kim's papers, just pull up all his theses that he's written. And again, these theses are proven research papers that you just scroll down, just like start scrolling through them, dude. Just you keep scrolling down. Look at it. I mean, smart monitoring programs for selective laser melting. I mean, like these things, there's so many things that we can use from a blockchain standpoint in here. And trust me, there's things in here already that we're working on that, are we're going to be using, dude. I mean, it's really, really crazy. I mean, right there, effective industrial Internet of Things, the vulnerability detections using machine learning. I mean, there's so many things you could do with that, right? The machine learning, we're talking machine learning in terms of like smart machining, smart manufacturing, things like that. So being able to take that and use some things, and again, we'll have more information coming out on it, but just go through these things and you can see everything that we have in store. Like everything that we have is right here. This is literally technology written in front of us here, and we can pick and choose what we want and focus on and build out. Like that's the best part about this. You know what I mean? And it's incredible, dude. And like I said, that's why if someone comes and tries to say that like they can be like us, like again, okay, that's great. I wish you nothing but the best. But it comes down to delivery, and Augustine said the best. We're not gonna use words to hype anything or get everyone all excited. Like we'll just show everyone what we're doing and let everyone decide what they want to do then.
Yeah, some of these titles are pretty crazy. Obviously, some of this stuff is pretty heavy tech stuff.
Well, we had this conversation yesterday, Sean.
But companies want this. That's the thing, is that companies look at this and they go, shoot, I want that. How can we go about getting that in our system here? How can we go? So, Dr. Kim goes to these companies and says, hey, dude, I see that you guys are doing this. Well, we wrote technology on this. Can we go into a proof of concept with you guys and do X, Y, and Z? And they're like, yeah, let's do a proof of concept. You build out a proof of concept of one of these things, you present it to them, and they say, yeah, I love this. And now they're using this proof of concept built on MMAI's blockchain, doing whatever we choose to do, but whether it's the metaverse or whatever it is. And next thing you know, you got industry running on our blockchain, using our technology and running the things that you see here in front of us. And that's the coolest part here, is that this text already proved, like these papers aren't written just in theory. Like, it's not like, well, we hope that this will happen. It's like, no, we've already proved this out. Like, this already works. Now you just got to commercialize it to somewhere or make it work for whatever that industry wants or whatever that company needs. You map it to what you want it there. But this is what it is, and that's what we're dealing with here. Like, we're literally dealing with a technology company that's created scenarios for Web3 and for blockchain. And I just don't see people out there, even top tier projects. And I'm not going to call projects out because there's no need to, but even top tier projects, top 100 projects won't even be able to compete with this.
Yeah. And we talked about this yesterday, Sean, and I said it, and I think Dr. Kim is such of a valuable piece. He's a genius, right? In my opinion, and he's such of a valuable piece to what we have going on, and we don't talk about him enough, right? But the things that he's done and where in the technology that he's proven out and developed is so crucial and vital to what MMAI has going on, and we just sometimes we forget about Dr. Kim, right, when we're talking about everybody, and he's such of a brainchild, right, and he's got to be like, I can't imagine how happy he is just to bring out this layer 2 blockchain that's probably been in his head for years, like a brainchild in his head, like a mad scientist working on this thing, and to watch it come out to the masses at some point, it's gotta just like make him just like hell yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy. Obviously, a super intelligent dude. I can't even imagine even trying to read some of these papers. So it'd probably be good nighttime reading for me.
Like here's one.
A lot of this. No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Austin.
No, I'm just gonna send one over, but go ahead, dude.
No, I'm just saying. You talked about people copying, people, having disbelief and all. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they just don't care. I hear a lot. I see the FUD, I hear a lot of FUD, but a lot of that FUD that I see that's coming towards the project is coming from people who really don't care about the innovative factor, of the platform, the technology that's going to be levied out. Essentially, they don't care. They're too used to the pump and dump. That's all they want. They want to pump, dump, and move on. There's a handful of people like ourselves that are like all in awe of all of this. Can't wait to see it come to fruition. Gonna be here from now until it all breaks down, which hopefully it doesn't break down. But I'm saying I'm here. I know you guys are here. I'm here to stay. We can't wait to see this come out and be a part of it. You have a large amount of people who care less about it. That's what bothers me. It's like we've been waiting on real projects for some time. We've been waiting on that real project with honest devs that have actually a road map that's actually feasible and actually has utility that's going to connect the real world to crypto. We've been waiting on this, and now you have so many people that are throwing flank at it. It kind of bothers me. It's like, this is what you've been wanting. Where's the FUD coming from? Why can't you believe what's in front of your eyes? I don't know. I have a hard time understanding that train of thought, because I see the FUD. I see what's written in Twitter a lot of the times. I see it in my DMs. I just saw a comment the other day about MMA being basically hopium, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's so much here. I don't know.
Yeah, those are people who don't want to do any research, for themselves. But yeah, so this, what you just sent me, tractable, Menacious, I don't know what the hell that means. Drones, aerial recognition, and safe channel neutralization scheme for mission critical operations, right? So this for unmanned aerial vehicles. Obviously, I'm not sure what this does, but I have a question. So when they're coming out with a paper like this and they're doing this research and putting everything together, is this at a request? Like, did the maybe the military over there requested this from them, or are they just putting this out because this was one more thing they wanted to tackle or one more problem they saw?
Yeah, so how NS Labs and ICT and them work is that these master level, even doctoral level students come to ICT and NS Labs, and part of them becoming a doctor and part of them going through that process is that they got to present, they got to actually present a problem. What's a problem, and what's a problem in this world that we could tackle and actually build some tech for and make it better, right? So then people come together and they say, okay, well, they thought about this and this is one of them, right? So then these people thought about this and I say, okay, so how can we actually bring in blockchain? How can we bring in Web3 and solve this problem? So there's a problem out here, and then these are based off solving the problems and testing out the theories. So they actually go and they test out the theories, they run whatever they need to run and prove out that this is now this tech you'll be able to use this type of thing, drone and aerial recognition. So again, you can start thinking, just like, I'm not going to go too much into detail, but you can start thinking about all the things you can do with a drone. Just think about all the things you can do with a drone, whether it's through metaverse, whether it's through real life, and then converting it to metaverse for anything, dude. Anything. And when you start to really think about that and like how blockchain, delivery, all this stuff plays into this. And you got to have some kind of frequencies and IoT devices to be able to run a lot of this stuff, which is why our blockchain is so important to a majority of what we see here. But these people are coming here with problems. They're finding solutions. If they are able to prove it out, then they get to be able to deliver a paper. It gets published, and then a company can come and say, hey, we want to use this, or we approach a company and say, hey, this is actually some tech. We see you're working in this, and whether it's military or whether it's private industry or whatever it might be, and then they'll come and, like I said, you can develop proof of concepts, and then you can move forward with these things. And when you have true tech, and these companies know who you are, they're going to come to you and say, hey, do you have something? We're looking to do this. Do you have something in that? And sometimes they might say, no, we don't, but we can actually build something out for you and we could do this. And that's a lot of what happens here too, is a lot of these companies will come to them and say, hey, can you prove this out or do this? And then you get things like this. And then you're able to then take this and apply it to other industries, not just the industry you built it for, but other industries as well. And so trust me, there's so many things on this. It's insane. And eventually the word will get out. Like I said, I don't want to go too much into detail, but we'll eventually hopefully have some pretty big announcements with what we're doing here. And I think we'll really solidify, what MMAI and NS Labs are. I think people will really go, holy crap.
Right. So yeah, and looking to push that beyond, a metaverse company or, a cold storage, wallet, company, really build everything around the narrative that this is really just a tech company that can do a lot of things.
Yeah, we want to build out our own stuff for our own ecosystem and grow off that, but also be there for big industry that's out there and needs technology, and we can put them on our blockchain and let them run off our blockchain. I mean, that's really what we want to do, and that's the big thing. I mean, imagine you get some of these larger companies running their systems off your blockchain, and every time information moves, you got to mine.
Right.
Every time something moves from point A to point B in terms of a blockchain, that information has to be mined, right? So if you're having information move every millisecond, you're going to be, the mining capabilities is incredible.
Right.
Which
Worldwide crypto,
revenue,
I want to say hi.
Which means the revenue is incredible. Hey guys, I got to get out of here. Awesome, man. It's always a great conversation with you.
Yeah, sorry, sometimes I feel like I hop on here and take over the stream, and I don't mean to.
That's all right. No. That's what you're here for.
That's why you have all the information, brother. Yep. That's why you have all the
yes, sir. All good, man.
Crypto Lounge is always a great time. Crypto Smith, thank you for having the space. Thank you for having the stream, man. I always like coming into the Forge. Appreciate you guys having me. Appreciate everybody in the chat. With them good old questions that they come up with, and appreciate everybody. And MMAI strong, baby.
There you go. Thanks,
Take care,
Daniel.
brother.
Go.
Have a good night.
You too.
All right. Yes, so Worldwide Crypto, I want to say hi to Worldwide Crypto. He popped in here. And then I have to give recognition to somebody because this is a first for my channel.
Wow.
Patrick Collier has become my very first member. So I do appreciate that. I'm working on
Nice.
some membership things. I'm trying to do something behind the scenes here to come up with some ideas. So I do appreciate that, Patrick. That does mean a lot to me. I'm very blessed.
Is Ice Mike and Maddie and all them, or are they mods?
I don't know. I have to go to my other Patrick. Oh, wait a minute. What is this? Patrick Collier. Oh, it looks like he gifted some memberships. How come I can't see
so
that?
there was memberships gifted. Yeah. So I was like, dude, because you have more members than you. Ice Mike,
yeah,
Maddie
there we
B.
Dang. Wow. I'm assuming that was Patrick, right? That you gifted all these memberships. I have to. It doesn't tell me on.
Patrick is always
StreamYard.
gifting, dude. He gifts a ton
Wow.
on my channel too. Like Patrick's amazing, dude.
Yeah, that's
I
pretty
appreciate
cool
that,
stuff right
Patrick.
there.
Yeah, I really do appreciate that, man. That means a lot. Ice Mike, Patrick Collier. Let's see who else we got. I probably just skipped over a bunch of people. Maddie B. Of course, he's always here. I appreciate his support. Let's see. Yeah, it looked like I said it was 10 of them. So, I mean, congratulations to everybody who got it. And I do appreciate that, Patrick.
Let's see who it is. Let's see who they were.
Let's see. It says MMAI just announced partnership with Ice Mike. MMAI just announced partnerships with Samsung and Kia. April Fools, bitches. Nice. That's nice. You know what? I'm gonna be glad when April Fools is over because I got caught up a couple times. I'm like, what is
I
going
get
on?
caught
Man?
up like every year. It's like
I'm
I
like,
try to get
damn it.
ready for it, and it's always something that catches me off guard every freaking year, man.
I'll tell you what didn't catch me was Rodney's and what's his name's little spat they had. I knew that was a total setup. That was pretty obvious. Yeah,
That's
I think
kind
it's
of
funny for him
poorly
to do it.
executed right there.
Yeah.
He got a lot of views this morning, dude, because he went on at 10 a.m., dude, and I think he had like 350 people in the room, waiting to hear what the thing was. So,
let's see. I don't know if this was referring to the memberships. I'm not sure. Dr. Rob, Daniel tells Sean about new bombs being dropped on the streams. I think that's it. And I probably just ran over a bunch of people, but I do appreciate it. Again, Patrick, I do really appreciate that, dude. That means a lot. So I have a question for you about MMAI, and it is I know this is down the road, right? And we're always looking down the road, and we know we're going to call this in the summer of MMAI, I think this year. But at what point, like, are there, let's say the metaverse comes out, and I'm sure it's going to be in stages, however you guys are going to drop that. At what point are the teams, behind the scenes being built to help those that have shops get set up? All that back end stuff, the payment processor and the shipping, APIs and things like that. Like at what point does that start?
Yeah, I think, as far as the shops go, I think how I sort of envision how the shops are is like how an Etsy is, you know what I mean? Like, they're really not setting up anything for you. Like, you're doing your own shipping, you're doing your own type of thing, but you can help translate. I mean, even people that want to, all we're doing is trying to bridge Web 2 into Web 3. So, maybe you are an Amazon shop right now and you want to go. And so you go into the store and inside the metaverse. And, like I said, you go into that store and you open up that link and it's, you're paying for this thing, but it's really connected through Amazon somehow, right? So you're really buying it maybe through Amazon, but it's in this store. That's all I see this as is something along those lines where, you're doing e-commerce, but you're going through you're basically putting your stuff into our platform, but you're selling it on another person's platform. You're not actually physically selling it inside of our metaverse. You know what I mean? You're setting up store just like you would a web page right now. Like you go to GoDaddy, you say, oh, I want to be an online store. You set up your template and you do all this stuff, right? And then when it comes time to sell it, either it's coming from your house, it's coming from your drop shipment, it's coming from wherever you got going on. It's not actually coming from MMAI. And so when I envision that, that's how I envision a store being, right? But it's something to where you can actually make it to where maybe it's a 3D or, something along those lines where you can submit JPEGs and then you can actually make it into a 3D setting. And the cool part is that, with all this AI technology that's coming out here, like it's making it a lot easier for a lot of this stuff to, be able to submit photos and be able to do whatever you want. Even Chat GPT right now, you can submit photos and have it manipulated into whatever you want. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
pretty wild, right? And so a lot of these APIs are already built out there. And I mean, when it comes down to it, if there's an API that makes sense to be added into the metaverse that would be useful for whatever we got going on, I don't think we'll ever shy away from technology that's already created. I mean, we're not, although we are a technology company, it's just like what I say about this. Like, we're a technology company, we know technology, but we're not web designers. You know what I mean? You're not, just because you specialize in some things doesn't mean you specialize in a bunch of other things.
Right.
And and so people that were mad at us for our website and stuff like that, which again, I get the criticism, but the people that were building it, they're building metaverses, not web pages. And I get that, like, people are like, well, they're smart enough to build a web page. Yeah, you're right, they are, but that's just not their niche, right? It's like I said, it's like asking a roofer to repair your car. It's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? They're great at doing roofs, and they're the best at doing roofs. Doesn't mean they're the best at installing an alternator.
Gotcha. Okay. And so, and when do you see that, these shops starting to be built out? When is this after blockchain?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well after.
We want to build. See, that's the thing, is we want our metaverse. We want everything that we got, like, literally running off our blockchain. I think it's so imperative that we are able to take our ecosystem and be able to intertwine our blockchain as much as possible, whatever we do, because that's really what's going to get back to our holders, right? Yes, we got the shops and, like, people are looking forward to that kind of stuff, but really it's the blockchain that's going to drive a lot of this, right? It's going to, and we all want that, especially if you've been in this space before. We want our coins to be on a blockchain. We want our values to go up based off that. And I think that that's the main focus for us now. You know what I mean? Metaverse is a focus. Trust me. Like, right. I know that, like Augie said, we're going to deliver on what we promised. But, like, there's some things now that are sort of maybe jumped out a little bit. And I think I after seeing the blockchain and what Dr. Kim's doing, like, it's going to be, I'm excited, bro. Like, that's all I can say. And I can't wait to, like, get this out there, and people are mining it, and people are using the metaverse, or not the metaverse, the blockchain, and even our wallet. So it's like, I don't know, man. But the metaverse is still being worked on. Like, they literally have like 10 people working on the metaverse every single day. So, like, that's not pushed aside. Everyone has their own teams working on their own stuff. So it's not like if we're talking more about the blockchain or more about the wallet, like, the metaverse is nothing's happening with the metaverse. Like, that's not the case at all. What's going to most likely happen is we're going to be talking so much about blockchain, so much about the wallet, that all of a sudden people are going to go, oh crap, and we're going to have a lot of stuff done with the metaverse, and they're going to go, oh shit, we're actually at that level now. So, like, that's what I'm hoping for.
Gotcha. And it makes total sense. The blockchain should be the most important thing. Obviously, as a holder, right? That's going to make a lot of sense for me. I mean, well, hopefully it makes a lot of dollars for me one day.
The wallet and the blockchain are, like, honestly, like, are my biggest focus right now. Like, I mean, that's what I care about the most, because I think that's where everyone's going to get their biggest bang for their buck. Like, the metaverse is going to be there, but I think everyone that bought into the metaverse, bought the NFTs, knew that they were buying into something that could take some time. At least I did. And I don't know, maybe that wasn't conveyed enough, but, like, we knew that it's not going to be like an overnight thing to build this out.
Well, I think being in crypto for as long as I have, and then being in some of these spaces, you do get that feeling. You don't want to think that initially, right? You're just pumped for it. You're excited. You get in, and you're, now what? Now I have to wait. Nobody wants to wait, that long, but it is part of the, it's part of the package, and at some point the realities have to set in. You're like, that they're building something, obviously they were building it before, but it's going to take a while to build out something of this magnitude, and it makes sense. So,
yeah.
It's like the real world. When you're building a house, there's a foundation that has to be laid first, and then you go from there. Quality takes time. You could build a bullshit blockchain. There's a lot of bullshit blockchains that are pretty much dormant out there. They're not doing anything. They're there, but they don't do shit. Quality takes time, and I totally understand. Take your time, brother. We want it done right? We don't want one of those blockchains that are just sitting there absolutely doing nothing at all. That's not what we want.
Yeah, and it's easy. I mean, for us now to see the realities of this, as they build, and the time it takes. I mean, nobody, like I said, nobody really wants to wait. I love the instant gratification as well. As much as the next guy. But these things, we're long-term holders. I'm in this for the long run. We always say that in the beginning, but this is the chance we get to prove that. If we're here a year from now to see what we've gone through, on all the different types of utility. And then a year from now, I'm sure there's going to be things that we haven't even thought of yet that they may be working on, that may come out a year from then. So, it's going to be constant building, I believe, at this point. And I'm not going anywhere, so I'm ready for it. Queen Perseverance, thanks for popping in here. I appreciate it. Hopefully you and Waddy are doing well tonight. Austin and Lounge. So Queen says hi.
What's up, Queen?
What's going on, Queen?
I'm excited to see Queen. I heard Waddy and Queen might be coming to LA during the event. So I'm excited to meet you guys, and that's gonna be cool.
Excellent. I wish I was coming too, but unfortunately it's a week before I go on my Alaska cruise, so
yeah,
I can't
I heard the Alaska cruises are amazing, dude. I don't know about this time of year with like how cold it's going to be, but I've heard that those cruises are fantastic.
Well, we chose May, so we're hoping it's starting to warm up a little bit. I don't do too well in the cold, but it's for my we're actually going to be on the cruise on my wife's birthday, so that was her choice. So I'm like, I'm going wherever you want to go. It's your birthday. Next year, I get to pick, and it's going to be a much warmer cruise. So. But yeah, I wish I could get there.
Patrick Collier gifted another 5 memberships. Wow.
What? Why?
Yeah, he just gifted another one.
How come I can't see that?
You can't see it on StreamYard. You have to actually open it up. You have to open up YouTube to see it. Because I've learned that because he'll pick gifted. All someone's like, oh wow, and I'm like, oh crap. So I've gotten the habit of opening up my stream on YouTube, and then also on StreamYard, so I could see what happens here. Like he just gifted Queen one, and then the other ones, I don't know if we can see the other ones.
Queen got one.
If they're not in the room, sometimes he could see all your subscribers and stuff like that, and then he can gift your subscribers memberships. But if they're not in the chat, then I don't know if you actually see them or not.
Huh. That is
Benny. Crypto Benny. Good job, man. Crypto Benny's one. Hell yeah.
What is this? Allow. Yeah, all this stuff behind the scenes in the YouTube, I still have to sit down and spend some time and look at.
Yeah, if you go into like your dashboard behind the scenes, like where you go to get your content, it says dashboard content analytics. If you go down to the little section where it says earn, you can click on earn, and then it goes over to memberships up at the top. And if you click on memberships, you can actually see your most recent members. And so it's gotcha. And then you could see like all the ones that actually, have rejoined or, a part of that whole thing. So it's pretty cool.
Huh. I'll have to go check that out here later, but it's I appreciate it, Patrick. You're blowing me away right now.
Yeah, cool,
that's super
stuff.
Cool. Yeah, it's a first for me.
Man. That's some cool shit.
Yeah, man. Obviously, I've seen him on your channel, so I know the name.
Yeah, he gets the hell out, dude. He gets like at least, probably once a week. He's gifting like 20 memberships. Damn. It's insane, dude.
Damn, nice. Wow, what a cool dude, man. I really appreciate that. So, let's see. What was I was going to say something, then I lost it. Busy Fox Digital Marketing Agency. Thanks for popping in here as well. Coming in towards the end. Probably going to have to go here in a little bit. Let's see. So what else can you offer me, Austin, while you're here? I know obviously there's nothing new. Let's see.
We got the wall. I got the new version of the wallet downloaded. There's I don't think I actually the teams they took the weekend off because they were working late for one of our projects, one of our partners that we'll be hopefully announcing here shortly. And they were working late, so they ended up getting the weekend off. And so usually one of them's in there on Saturdays and Sundays, but they're actually off. And so the link that they gave me is not letting me download the new version on my Android. But I'm hoping that later this week, dude, we're able to disseminate, basically send this out to, we'll probably start a new group. I think the group that we had got a little out of control there. I think we had like 35 people in there. We'll probably have to, lower that a little bit and, again, have some Android users go in there and test this out and provide feedback and stuff like that. So, yes, it looks very similar to what you're seeing right there, but, there are some differences here. With it, you guys will see some of the differences. And then, like I said, towards the end of Q2, so what is it like? What was that? March, April? Let's see. Yeah, right towards the end of like right around like somewhere in Q2, we're going to be dropping the version 2. So like I said, we're going to do a version 1. It's going to be like sort of like a soft launch. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe the members in our Telegram and things like that, and then we're going to have like a hard launch in towards like somewhere in Q2, where we're really going to do some marketing. Like we're going to go out there, we're going to hit the ground, we're going to hit the pavement, we're going to get people to sort of see what it is, and it's going to have a whole new interface. It's going to have a whole new layout. It's going to have a lot of things in there. We'll have more than just the 4 or 5 cryptocurrencies. We'll have the swap. We'll have a lot of things that we're hoping for will be added in this wallet. We'll have the browser function. We'll be able to add tokens. So I'm really looking forward to the next version, which is again somewhere in Q2. And at that point, like I said, I mean, even when the blockchain comes, being able to have our wallet and being able to have the interaction with our wallet through the blockchain. So, because what happens here is that, if you have a blockchain and now we've turned to a coin, where do you go trade that coin at? You can no longer trade it on
Right.
Uniswap. You can't trade it on, PancakeSwap because they're all BNB unless you wrap and create a bridge and all these things. And so, I think our wallet's going to be a perfect place for our airdrops to happen and people to then trade that. We can airdrop, but you're most likely, until we partner with other wallets and partner with other partner and do bridges, at that meantime, we're have to have some place to be able to trade your MMAI, and I think our wallet's going to be able to do that, which will be fantastic.
Yeah, and the airdrop shouldn't be too big a deal. Obviously, the community is not that big yet, so it's less than a couple.
Well, our
thousand.
blockchain's going to have really low gas fees. It's
Yeah.
going to be super fast, low gas fees. So being able to airdrop something on our blockchain is going to be literally 0.002 pennies on the dollar versus like what Saitama had to do and spend a shit ton of money to airdrop people.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. So how different does it look than this picture here right now?
The version, the soft launch will not look anything different than that. There'll be some differences like on certain, like what we see here. There'll be some dollar signs and some other little things will be able to be clicked on. You'll actually see a transaction history. You'll see a lot of the other little things, but and then down below, like the little, like where it says wallet, all that kind of stuff. There's some differences down there too now. So we'll be able to see some things that are slightly different, but for the most part, it's going to look something like that a little bit. For the soft launch, and then but then the next launch of the actual one is going to be completely different. That's why I spent my whole month there was revamping what the next version is going to look like, and it's going to look completely different, but which I'm really excited for.
Cool. Yeah, and I'm super stoked for it as well because I have an iPhone, unfortunately at this point.
And
But,
I guess I could say this. I don't know if you heard, but one of the big questions came through is like, how can we prove out that we're more secure than Ledger? How can we prove out that we're more secure, on a hot wallet, or how can we prove out that we are a cold storage, right? Because that's the biggest thing is people are going to sit there and say that we're not a cold storage or whatever it might be. So Dr. Kim is writing a paper with Dr. Lee and them to prove out how our wallet is basically safer than some of these hardware wallets. And now you're going to have an actual like certified, you're going to have like basically a research paper put together by, doctors saying why maybe Pure Wallet has a safer offline than maybe Ledger and other hardwares.
wow, and that's going to be phenomenal to read and to be able to present that to others, as proof. Obviously, this this project is for real. You've got somebody who wrote a paper, right? A published paper, I guess. I don't know if it's published. I don't know if that you throw that term in there. About it being equal to, if not better than Ledger, which is, I think everybody uses it kind of as the standard right now.
Well, that was my hard part. I was going around saying we're better than Ledger. Like we keep comparing ourselves to Ledger, and I was sitting here, I'm like, we can't really say that unless we have something to actually fall back on and say, like, why are you better? Why would you go to us over Ledger, right? I mean, how could you really prove out? Because like right now we know that you literally detach your seed phrase. You basically detach your stuff. Like it's basically just your seed phrase and your private codes. that's what you're detaching. You're not actually taking your cryptocurrency off Ethereum. It's still there. People can still see it. Like there's nothing hiding it. All you're doing is taking your keys, and you're now holding your keys offline.
Right.
And so that's really all Ledger does. That's what that little device does. And I think that we're a little bit different with that. And again, I think proving how we're different, and we're like everything is literally offline until you make that trade to someone or back online. That's when you compromise, but you've already made that transaction. You know what I mean? Where again, with Ledger, as soon as you plug that device back in, before you've done anything, you're already jeopardized at that point, right?
Right.
So, and I asked Dr. Kim, could you like prove that out? And he's like, yeah, I think we could show something on like why we're a little bit better. And we'll see what happens. Andrew really wants to do a hackathon. I don't know how good that is. I mean, I don't really know if I want to like, hey, come hack our wallet. You know what I mean? Like, but
I do see blockchains do that. Yeah, a lot of I do see that a lot in this space. Where there's hackathons, where like, it needs to be ultra secure. So bring your A game, and come hacking this thing. And
a lot of the people there. I asked Dr. Kim. I said, do you think it's you think it's hackable, or do you think it's unhackable? And he said, I have no comment. And I said, oh, okay. And then I asked all the other people, and they're like, it's not hackable. No one's going to hack it. And I'm like, see, like, I hate that feeling though, because it's like, what if it gets hacked, right? You made that statement, now it gets hacked.
See, I don't like that. I don't think we should do that, man, because you get
I'm with you, dude.
out of the, you know what I'm saying? Because you get a badass hacker out of the woodwork, bro, to come out of nowhere and blow it out the water. So I don't, Hey, I got a question though, bro, about MMAI games. This one world that we're in right now, I love it, man. When are we going to see more worlds, in the game? Are we going to get another update?
We probably will, yeah. And I think when we do the like I said, I think we're gonna, we'll make. I already asked Andrew if we can make the because this one's still, you got to attach your wall. You got to I asked if we can make this, at least this next phase, public for other people just to come in and play it. You know what I mean? Originally it was for the beta, but it's been out for a couple weeks now. What is it? 3 weeks now? 3-4 weeks? It's been out for a while now.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, can we actually just open this up for everyone to come in and play it now? You know what I mean? And I think our next step, though, before the next world, is we're gonna drop it to where we could do multiplayers. So it's gonna be so we could all go into a room together and all play against each other. You know what I mean? That's our next. I think that's gonna be our next release, and then we'll release some more worlds.
Excellent. Looking forward to that. Yeah, I was playing. What was it last week? I was playing the game, and it's a cool game. It's fun. Like I really enjoy it. I'm not much of a gamer myself, but I'll I don't mind playing shoot 'em up games. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, we get PvP is gonna be really, really sweet. Can't wait for that. And I can't wait to get on that world. Where you're on the mountain when you're out in the open. I can't wait to get on that one.
Yeah, and I think at that time when we drop that one, I hope that we have more weapons, sniper rifles, things like that will be pretty cool.
So Maddie B is asking what event I would like to come. So Maddie, this is the event in May in Orange County, California. Basically, the grand opening of the MMAI office there, and NS Labs, I guess, is also. Are they going to be there at that time?
Who?
NS Labs, aren't they going to be in that same the same building?
Yeah. So how it's gonna work is Dr. Lee is like Dr. Kim's right hand man, right? I mean, like he's like when Dr. Kim's gone, Dr. Lee's like sort of heading everything. So Dr. Lee is actually most likely going to move to Orange County and work out of NS Labs in California. And then like Jay Hung, who does all of our a lot of our wallet stuff, he's up and coming, and he speaks decent English. He's obviously learning more, but he's a young dude. This kid, dude, he's a younger kid, man. Like, and I say younger kid, he's like 28, right? But dude, the hardest working guy, I'm not even kidding you, dude. Like, he is, like, if you're gonna hire anyone in life, just in general, just like, this dude is there, man. He picks up his phone any time of the night. If you ask him for help on anything, he is there. Like, whatever it might have been, dude. Like, I called him. I was like, hey, dude, I was like, man, I'm feeling like crap, dude. And like, Andrew was gone. And I was like, hey, dude, I'm feeling like crap. Could you take me to the doctor's office? And he's like, dude, I'll be there in a minute. You know what I mean? Like, and he's like in the middle of like, running our, doing our Pure Wall, but he's the only one that was on campus at the time. And so like, but it just shows you like this dude is just like he's the hardest working guy and not saying that no one else is hardworking, but I really enjoyed him. He's just really someone who gives it his all, dude. He gives it 150%, and he works day and night. You know, he's the one that during the NFT launch, he didn't sleep. He slept in NS Labs, inside of the NS Labs. He brought a bed. He brought like one of the fold out beds, and he slept on the desk for 3 days and didn't even go home because he wanted to make sure everything with the NFTs are running, the whole contract. Like, he didn't go home at all. He just threw 3 days, dude, just straight at the lab. And I was like, dude, that is crazy, bro.
Yeah. Wow. That's commitment.
So I'm hoping that he comes to the OC, and then it will allow me to, be able to fly down to the Orange County office. And, when we have little rollouts and things like this, or we can meet it and do certain things, I can go down there and meet with them, and, versus having to fly all the way to South Korea.
Right. Awesome. Waddy, the crypto hunter, became a YouTube member. Thanks, Waddy. I appreciate that, bud. Hope your night's going well. Let's see. I had another. Oh, here's my question. And I don't know if this was asked or answered before. I know we're touting this as a first-person shooter. I don't know if this has been answered. But in the demo that we're playing, it's it's not first person, let's say. So is that going to change, or is there going to be a toggle, to change views?
I think right now it's a third-person shooter. So like that's how the setup is. I don't know if we're going to get it into like a first-person shooter. Doesn't mean that can't be down the road. Doesn't mean that can't be turned into an option, right? To make it a first-person shooter or choose to be a third-person shooter.
Right.
I think that's just an option setting that they could probably change. I don't think that that's anything else.
Okay. I'm just curious because I know we keep saying first-person shooter, and somebody kept making that distinction.
It's a third. It's actually a third-person shooter because you can see the person. So
right. It
was my fault because I actually said first-person shooter to begin with, and then Cool and Chris corrected me.
Okay, so we're not going to say first-person shooter anymore.
No, it's third-person.
It's first-person shooter. Okay. Let's see. Maddie B says, "I want all to know I am banished of Space Cabin." Maddie B says he was banished from Space Cabin, and that's Space Chick. Space Chick's. She does a Space Cabin. It's really cool, actually. She does.
What did you do, Maddie? What did he do?
What happened?
I'm excited. I get to meet her this week. Hopefully we meet up, and it'd be super cool. So
yeah, it's really cool that she's right there, so she didn't have to really go anywhere. She's
Michael, aren't you down there, dude? Aren't you in that area too?
Yeah, I was telling him earlier, man. I'm right down the road, bro. I'm just kind of like north of Austin, so yeah, I can get down there real quick.
Oh, so we could meet up too.
Yeah, that's what my plans are. Yeah, hopefully I don't get caught in. So, somebody's always got some freakish stuff may happen, but those are my plans because I want to come down there because this is probably the only time I'll be able to actually meet you guys because I don't think I'm gonna be able to get to Southern California, but it's really exciting though.
Dude, hell yeah, dude. Let me know, man, for sure, dude, and we'll definitely meet up, man. Like I said, anytime, dude.
Absolutely, man.
So Ice Mike says he's a professional hacker. He can take a look at it for 100,000 donation to the wallet of your choice.
Well, we did talk about paying out any of the people that actually hacked it. Paying them out for their basically exposing it, right, so that we can then correct the issue and being sort of putting a bounty on there. Yeah, we talked about that, just like Ethereum does. Ethereum has a bounty program as well, and I think that's something that's super cool. And I've already talked to Dr. Kim about putting a bounty system for our blockchain too, because there might be vulnerabilities out there, and it's okay for people to find those vulnerabilities. I'd much rather find the vulnerability before someone else that's trying to do it maliciously. And so I think that's a super cool program to have, and I do think we're gonna pursue that.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say, that it's not I don't look at it as a negative if you have a hackathon and somebody was able to find something, right? Because you definitely do not want something down the road once everybody's using it, and it's well known and established, and then somebody loses a shit ton of crypto, because of some flaw that wasn't discovered until then.
Yeah,
I mean, that's, to me, that's being able to make it the most secure you possibly could.
Yeah, and I think how it works, just like how Ethereum is perfect, right? You do it off of a point system, and every time someone finds a flaw, they get a point, right? And then you pay out based off that point, and so if you have 350 points, then and you're number one, you go on a leaderboard and you pay out that per point, and I think that's really how it should be. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. That would be cool to watch or to see that take place. How much time do they get to hack? To just as long as it takes.
Yeah, as long for the life of for the system.
So yeah, well,
Just an
obviously once you
ongoing
put it
thing,
out
dude.
there, yeah,
Just an ongoing
somebody's going to
thing.
continue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it doesn't pay too much, or else you're going to have a lot of people that's their full-time job, man, trying to break in.
Well, I mean, shoot, if like you make it, what if you you pay 10K per point, right? And next thing you know, this guy has 5 points, and next thing you know, he's made 50K. He's going to keep coming back and trying to find more shit, right? That's what
Right,
you want,
absolutely.
I guess. And
Yeah,
I'd rather pay
true.
50K than someone lose, a couple $1 million, or we lose a couple $1 million, on a bridge, or a couple $1 million through, some kind of rig or whatever it might be, right? I mean, $50,000 really is nothing when you talk about millions.
Yeah, and more than that, it's the trust factor at that point.
Correct, right?
it's
I
now
mean, look
nobody.
at Solana. Solana lost a lot of hype, a lot of momentum because they kept getting their bridge hacked, right? I mean, it was ridiculous.
Yeah. Maddie B says, if you talk to her, tell her that matter is sorry. I did text time, email 10th time. So Maddie's still talking about how you got kicked off of Space Cabin. Awesome Austin became a YouTube member. Thanks, Austin. I really appreciate that, bud.
Yeah, I totally spaced
Really
to join it until now. I was like, oh shit.
That's fine. I actually just put this up this last week. So
Oh, did you? Okay,
just
that's
playing
probably
up,
why.
yeah.
Then I don't feel so bad now.
No.
Oh yeah, I would too. Sean, I would too, bro. I'm in my truck though, man. But when I get home, I'm gonna get on there, brother. And you know what?
Man, I appreciate that.
I think you guys talked me into this hackathon because, man, I don't know about that, but the prestige that comes with that, and if nobody can get in it, you know what I'm saying? If they're unsuccessful for numerous times that nobody can do it, that says a lot, bro. I mean, that says a lot. So I don't know. It still kind of bothers me a bit, though. You know what I mean?
No, I'm with you, dude. And like Ice Mike said here, the MMI contract on ChatGPT found some vulnerabilities. The cool thing is that that's the Ethereum contract. I think once it's in our blockchain and it's our own blockchain contract, it's a different ballgame. And so we're really, in all reality, we're really waiting for anything to happen with our contract. When it comes to, taking away our taxes, basically anything. There's no reason to move to a V2 to change the vulnerabilities, right? There's no reason to move to any of that kind of stuff when we have a blockchain right around the corner and we become a coin. You know what I mean? So, all the people that are becoming V2s and V3s and doing all this crazy shit, it just shows you that like there's real no clear path in sight for what they're trying to do. I feel no shade. Just want to put that out there.
Waddy says he's at the hospital. He crashed his BMW.
Ooh.
I'm wondering if I believe Waddy or not.
April Fools.
That's that April Fools, man. You gotta watch it. Waddy's a jokester. You gotta watch it.
Thank you, Patrick.
Okay.
Waddy, you okay? Yeah, I'm good. It's April Fool's. Okay, I had a feeling.
See what I tell you?
Yeah.
Hey,
The second half of this day, I can't trust anything that I read.
You got to be careful, man. Well, how many hours we got? We got to be damn careful, man.
Yeah. Well, once I'm done with the stream here, I'm shutting the phone off. I'm not reading any more stuff. You get bit at the last moment. They pull you in, and you're like, God, what the? Yeah, it's April Fool's. I know it's April Fool's. Why am I believing this?
No, Army guy. I did not pour a Bud Light. I poured I don't know if Sean's okay with me showing it, but I poured a Cass. Cass is really good, dude. There's just something about this beer. I don't know what it is, dude. It's just really light, and it's just really good to sip. I swear to God, dude. It's just like it's weird, dude.
Patrick Collier says, "Take care, guys. I'm about to go eat. Be blessed." Patrick, thank you very much, sir. I do appreciate your generosity. It is much appreciated, man. You have yourself a great weekend.
Yeah, Patrick's awesome.
That was pretty cool, Pat, man. You have a good weekend, brother.
Let's see. I actually ran MMAI contract on Chat GPT and found some vulnerabilities. Okay. Well, Ice Mike's. He's
Austin, we're bringing him out the woodwork, remember?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Oh no, he didn't. He says April Fools. Oh, my
I don't
God.
think they're gonna find anything, man. I really don't. I think this is a solid situation, bro.
Bud Light. Would you be upset if he poured Bud Light into his cup?
There's just, you know what's crazy? So like one thing I learned in Korea, honestly, is like they want their beer cold. So every time they take a sip, it should be a cold sip, right? So what they do is they give you these glasses, and they're small glasses. Like they're not like a big, like, you know, here in America you get a big cup, a big glass of beer.
Right.
And by the time you get halfway through it, it's warm, right?
Yeah.
So with this, they basically give you a cask. They give you a bottle of cask, and then you pour you pour it into your little glass, and then you basically almost drink the whole cup, because every time you take a sip, it's like you drink it, and it's cold every time you drink it. And same with food, dude. Like they give you put your food onto the burner, cook it, and then you eat it, and then you put the raw stuff onto the burner, cook it, eat it, so that every time you're eating something hot, drinking something cold,
Oh, I like
it
that.
makes sense. When you start
Yeah.
to really do it, you're like, okay, that makes sense now. You know what I mean? I get it. Versus us, we're like, we cook the whole steak, and by the time we get halfway through the steak, it's cold. We pull a whole beer, and by the time we get halfway through the beer, it's warm. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah, stupid Americans.
Yeah, it reminded me of the
Yes.
freaking pictures at the bar. I know you get the picture, get a couple.
Exactly.
I totally.
why?
yeah,
Like, why do you do that? You know what I mean? Like, now
Yeah.
you think about it, you like, shit,
It's
I
like
didn't think about
tradition for us. We're so used to drinking hot ass beer. It's crazy.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, let me get a 5-gallon bucket of beer and let it sit here on my table for the next 2 hours
Funny,
Yeah.
while I'm drinking.
I'll
Yeah.
go play pool and come back and drink it when it's room temperature. That's what we do, right?
Yep, that is what we do. That's funny. Let's see. Yeah, he thought you were treating it all fancy. Yeah, you do have your pinky out there, Austin.
It's hard not to, dude. I don't know why I do that. It is weird that I do that, and I can't control it.
I could tell you why, but you won't like the answer.
No.
Let's see. Hey, fan and everyone else, Army Guy, thanks for being here. Well, guys, unless we got anything else, I think I'm going to cut it and probably go get some dinner myself. I do appreciate.
I got to go eat too.
I do appreciate you popping in here, Austin, and helping out with the content for MMAI. Obviously, we're going to be doing this a lot, I think, for the next many months. So, I don't know if you got anything else, Michael, Crypto Lounge. Are you there? He might be gone. He might have rugged.
Yeah, he rugged a little bit.
Okay. Well, everybody, I do appreciate you guys showing up for the live stream. It's always fun for me to do this every Saturday, 8 p.m. on Eastern Standard Time. So with that, I appreciate you, Austin, and everybody else here. Patrick Collier, again, if you, I think you're gone, but thanks for everything. I do appreciate it, guys. You guys have a great weekend, all right?
Yeah, you have a good one, dude. I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right. See you.
All right, bye, guys.